And we're rolling. Hello, everybody.
Hey everybody, what's up? You missed it.
It's your boy British Ninja, and I'm joined today by Emerald Comet,
Hello.
and we're gonna play some D&D, solo D&D, kind of like what we did last time with Alistair and with Clyde. Except this time we are doing the tale of your character. No, who is your character, and what are they about for either the people who somehow decide that this is a good time to start watching, or
Yeah, like midway through the campaign that
yeah.
we totally have been recording since the very start. I'm playing Robin Needleberry, the only human in the group. He's a ranger. He became a druid like a little bit of the ways through the adventure. Don't worry about it; he's totally fine. I've been playing this character with Ninja for about 2 years. Then I watched The Witcher, and I realized, okay, I've basically been playing Geralt for the whole amount of time we've been in this game. But yeah, no, he's a bit of a grumpy dude. He kind of like hates everybody. He's a bit of an alcoholic, but he's also like kind of the group's dad a little bit. You know, gives advice. It helps people that he trusts kind of like make sense of the world a little bit, and he can shoot. He's uh, he's he's
Yeah, he's
he's
cool with
he's
a bow.
he's good. He's good at shooting.
Alright. So, this is going to be another one of the tales from Baldur's Gate. This will be Tale of Robin the Hunter. Alright, so, last time on Ninja's Bizarre Adventure. With the success of Alex's resurrection, you guys discussed plans for your next move, deciding to venture west to the great city of Baldur's Gate, a familiar township to Robin, to charter a ship and sail north to Waterdeep to try and track down and follow the leads of the Cult of the Dragon's whereabouts. Along the way, you rested Alex back from his exhaustion. Robin, the hero of today's tale, commissioned a silver dagger, just in case, and in a moment of rare but prominent sentimentalism, he engraved Alex's rapier with the statement, "The pack survives," onto Alex's sword. But all of this and chartering a ship costs a lot of money, and the entire party collectively opened their pockets, finding yourselves about 1,000 gold short. But no matter, if ever there was a place to earn some coin, it would be in the all too familiar city of Baldur's Gate, a land of golden opportunity. Alright, so I'm going to drag you over to Baldur's Gate.
Yeet.
We're over here. So hand waved the first couple of 5 minutes as you guys as a party made your way through the outer city towards the main inner city. You, in fact, Robin, being the most familiar with this place, led them to the Song Tavern, a wonderfully set up establishment known for its decent and fair prices for adventurers to come and rest their heads for a few days. It's not too expensive, but it's expensive enough to afford a decent quality of stay. And you all pretty much decided that the best way to earn some money would be to split up and to go about your own separate things. Alistair and Clyde have already left for the day. Meg and the Dawn seem to have something planned to go out and do later. And that just kind of leaves Robin with a rare moment to himself. One that you haven't enjoyed since, gosh, it's been about 3 months now since you've been rolling with this crew.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
In game, 3 months.
in game, roughly, it's been about 3 to 4 months
Mm.
ish. Time got a little loosey goosey in the Feywild.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that was a thing.
That was a thing. So,
Um,
the
gosh.
first prominent question is, what would you like to do? The city is yours in theory. You can. I like to plan my cities like Schrodinger's city. Whatever you wish to go and seek out and find can effectively be a possibility.
Okay. I guess since I kind of have a bit of a moment to myself, I guess Robin's just gonna kind of like finish off his drink, and then just sort of just get up and go for a walk. I want to just do like a little where around in Baldur's Gate is Elf Song, or is the Elf Song
The
lower?
Song Tavern is kind of smack dab in the middle of the lower city, round about here-ish, if I remember correctly.
Right, right.
Right about there-ish. In fact, I'll put a little bit of text there just so I can remind myself.
trustworthy elf. So yeah, I'll basically just head out, take a deep breath of that sea air that I haven't smelt in quite a while, and yeah, just kind of go for a little bit of a wander around the town. And I'm basically going to try and like gather from locals or guards or whoever else might be in the know of what they know about what's happened or happening with the dragon attacks going on.
Okay.
And like what the city's doing to like fortify itself.
Okay. I'm sorry, I got something in my throat there.
No worries.
Yeah.
Rona!
Yeah, Rona! So, as you're sort of walking down to the docks of the lower city, as you crest over the main part of the hill, the first thing to hit you is the fairly refreshing sea breeze. You guys have been strolling through hillsides for the most part, and while the cool atmosphere has spared you from the summer heat throughout most of your journey, it's so nice to get that fresh, salty air into your lungs once again. As you sort of crest over the hill, you see the beautiful sea itself, heading down to the harbor and the docks. There are many places to get information. There are certainly Fire Fist. Actually, no, that's not the name. Gosh, my brain is melting already.
No worries. The Ash Tower, is that what it's called?
The Ash Tower is on the other side, and they are run by the militaristic guild of Baldur's Gate. That is somehow just slipping my mind. I know it's Fire Fist or Fire Gauntlet or something. I'm just gonna.
The Flaming Fist.
The Flaming Fist. That's it. Gosh, I don't know how I forgot that. Anyway.
No worries.
Yes, there are Flaming Fist mercenaries all about the place, just sort of policing the general, mainly in the more cultured areas, not so much around the houses, but stuff like the counter of coins, the giant bazaar that is prominent in the lower city, is heavily policed to make sure that any thieves or people who seem to be causing a disturbance are quickly dealt with. There are, of course, the town criers in the streets. There are children up on posts with these sacks of paper, and they're screaming from the towers, "Extra, extra, read all about it. Dragon attacks inside of the Sword's Coast. Are we safe? Can you trust our lords? Find out more."
I'll chuck one of those kids a silver and take a paper.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. And he'll sort of tip his very well sooted cap to you, and will hand you a paper, the Daily Dot. And you will find a couple of articles in there that reads just a general, not exactly an accurate representation of what's going on. You're able to gather that since it's been a few days, not a tremendous amount of information has been given to the common people yet about what's going on. There are just rumors and terrible cries of dragon attacks across the Sword's Coast. As part of this article, you're able to read it, and you can definitely sense a spin on the article that seems to imply that the city of Baldur's Gate will always be safe and secure, and that the people have nothing to worry about and nothing to fear.
I'll do a quick look around me just so I can just get an idea of like the general vibe of the city.
The general vibe of the city?
Yeah.
Gosh, what check would this be? I suppose an insight check? Or what is your passive insight score?
I guess 10 plus whatever insight is, so 15.
15. Yeah, that's a decent amount. As you're walking around, just sort of getting the general vibe of the people, it obviously depends on place to place. You know, walking around the lower city and docks, they don't seem to have time to be worried. There are people walking about the streets with hustle and bustle, moving crates by hand, and calling in ships and making sure that everything is docked and well taken care of. It seems that if information has gotten this far, the lower city, at the very least, doesn't know what panicking would do to help, and just seem to have a much more of a hard work attitude that, you know, they've at least got to try and make hay while the sun shines if anything is going to happen.
Right. So I'll kind of just sort of
in other parts of the city, you might get different responses, but as of now, people seem to be too preoccupied with making the daily grind.
Yeah, and the upper cities where all like the more wealthy folk live, right?
Yes, you would know that the city is kind of broken into three, maybe 4 or 5 districts, depending on how you look at it. There's the outer city, which houses Little Calimsham, Gyllenhaal Ridge, the Lorien Mines, and the various outer settlements. That's where a lot of the much more lower class individuals live, those who simply can't afford to stay within the safety and the walls of Baldur's Gate itself. The lower city is what would be more considered a middle class settlement. The people there do have jobs, but it is a rough time. You know, the cost of rent is rising. The amount of people who want to come here, who have heard about the amount of trade opportunity and how the city of gold, anyone can make it here, is very much alive in Baldur's Gate. The upper city is where a lot of the nobility hang out. If you are part of the military or the Flaming Fist Guild, if you are a high-ranking member of the church or a lord, then you would have a nice home waiting for you in the upper city.
Right. All right, well, I guess after I've sort of gone around and collected what info I could really gather, yeah, I think the main priority now would be find somewhere where I could put a bit of coin in the group's pocket, get us that ship.
All right. Well, there are some... The most reliable source of income, you have 2 options. You can either go and try and see if you can find an old contact, or you can see if there's any work going at the Flaming Fist.
I'm going to see if I can find an old...
Alright, so you actually, for this, would have to venture out into the outskirts of the outer city. He didn't really have so much of a establishment, if you will.
Yeah, not too...
place.
Yeah, no, wasn't...
Called it home.
Yeah, you know, it was functional. You know, kept the rain out of my head. All right. Yeah, so I'll just sort of like wander through the town a little bit, and like for the first time in like kind of a while since I've been by myself, Robin's just kind of just sort of be a little bit more at ease than he normally was when he's on the road, just because this is sort of like familiar territory. But he definitely feels better when he's like out in sort of a more open space and not too crowded in the street.
How relaxed are you, might I say? Are you hood down, you know, just walking casually through the streets? Because chances are some people would recognize you ever so slightly.
Hood is down, but I'm still being very watchful. I'm just like, you know, I'm aware of my surroundings. Just like, you know, I check my pockets to make sure I'm not being dumb, and so that like,
yes,
if I have gold, I like stash it like somewhere where nobody could get to it, kind of thing.
As you're walking throughout the outer city, there are a few eyes that sort of quickly glance in your direction with a slight amount of recognition, then just return to their own daily business. They don't necessarily seem bothered that you're here. They just recognize the familiar face.
Right, okay.
Making your way down the winding slums of the outer city, you do eventually come to a slightly dilapidated house with a hole in the roof. The door certainly needs some work, but it has been home for you and for your contact for a number of years now.
Mm-hmm. But question for the DM, do I know who this person is?
Yes, you would know your friend.
Okay, alright. Before I walk in, I will sort of like raise my hand toward, like to go and bang on the door and then stop. And then just kind of be like... Ethan Barrett will be fine. And then knock on the door.
You knock and wait and wait and wait. And after about 5 minutes, there is still no one coming to the door.
Okay. Is there a window?
There is a window, yes.
I'm going to stealth and look in through the window.
Alright, pretty simple to do. I wouldn't even have you roll for it. You just sort of creep under the sad attempt of a garden that the resident here has tried to make. And you lean up and try and peek through the window, and the house seems a little messier than since you last looked at it. You know, the inside of the house has a sort of a half bed cocked to the side, unkept and untaken care of for a while. There's a glorious wardrobe that is sort of half open, and you can see sort of purple sequins peeping out of the side. The table is set, but it has no food there. There just seems to be a couple of nights' dinner ago still left on the table.
And do I see my contact inside?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna try and sneak in the back door.
Okay. You sort of make your way round. You know, just as a general rule, that you don't even have to lockpick this because he keeps the key under the plotted plant.
I lift it up and I'm just like, I'll just click it open.
As you venture inside, you're going through the back door, so you get to the kitchen, and there seems to be various knives and forks strewn about, potted pans and glittering glue sort of spread across the table a little bit. I'll have you roll a perception check.
10?
10? Okay.
My passive, if that helps.
Passive perception of...
15, if that helps.
Okay, so I'll describe the room in general then, because as you're coming through the kitchen and into the main room, you're able to see what you saw before. You're able to see the chairs sort of strewn about to the side, a table set for one, a small bouquet of roses in the middle, kind of wilting a little bit. It looks like the water hasn't been changed in a few days. Food, again, left out on the table a little bit. A couple of letters strewn about next to the dinner plate that was sort of behind the potted plant before. And a couple of other pieces of mail that seem to be shoved underneath the door.
Oh, well, I'm gonna take a look at those letters and see what my old buddy's been getting up to.
Okay. 1 second. I'm having a coughing fit, apparently.
No worries.
Also, my dumbass didn't hit... I did hit start on the recording again. But oh well, we'll just pick it up from here. Not a lot of important stuff has happened yet. He's alive. For now. I don't know how much longer he'll stay that way. You know what he's done, or are you just as wandering in on this?
I have a general idea of what he's done, and if he's still alive, don't worry,
Well, he's currently the main suspect and wanted for murder.
Excuse me?
Well, he wanted for murder. Lord Gyllenhaal's son. He is the prime suspect in the case. He was the last one seen near Lord Gyllenhaal's son, and... well, it seems that some kind of magic has influenced his demise. Obviously, House Gyllenhaal has put an immediate bounty on his head, and he's currently sitting at the jailhouse. I don't know if the sheriff is allowing visitors. Would you mind giving me your name? I'm not incarcerating you, don't worry. I just want to keep contact with what's going on here.
Robin Needleberry. Check records. He used to be a soldier.
Oh, used to be part of the Fist. Alright. Well, you could probably use your services then if you're on the case, but... And how do you know this, what's... Daffodil, that's his name.
He's a complete dumbass, and I very accidentally saved his life once, and now he apparently owes me a life debt, which I really regret.
Well, in your luck, that debt will probably not last much longer.
Alright. Look, thank you very much. I'll see if I can have a chat with this jailer.
If you used to be part of the battalion, then I'd lead with that. Just say that you're part of the case, and they might let you get further than just saying hello.
Yeah, don't worry. I've lived here a while. I know how shit works. Oh, by the way, he's a complete dumbass, but I don't think he has it in him. Straighten shit out. And I'll walk off to the jailhouse.
Alright, the guard will sort of return, and as you're walking through the streets, there's definitely an ominous aura towards it. You look out to the docks on your left, and not a ship is in the harbor, except for one very beautiful looking boat. There aren't that many people in the streets either, mainly soldiers, and various families seem to be keeping themselves indoors for the day. God, what is wrong with me today? I can't speak at all.
That's alright. So it's like it's like one small thing goes wrong in your gated community, and all of a sudden it's just like the world is ending.
Either the gated nobles or the workers are already in the mines for the day.
I'll just kind of like, I remember why I hated coming to places like this, and I'll take a quick look at that ship. Is there anybody on it?
Make a perception check with your eagle eyes.
Is that about eagle eyes? 14?
About 14. You're able to gaze out. It's not like there's anything else in the water obscuring your vision. It's still a nice sunny day. And as you look out onto the sea, you see sort of lounging around on a chair on the front of the boat seems to be a young blonde woman sort of lying back there with a fishing pole in one hand. Too far out to call right now. They're about, over in this direction.
Yeah, we're just kind of moored and doing their own thing. All right. Okay. All right. I'll keep that in my brain, knowing that that's there, and I'll continue on to the jail.
All right. As you make your way to the jailhouse, if on the outset it doesn't look like a jailhouse, only until you get inside, where the refurbished wooden floors are replaced with this more cold stone and gravel. As you actually walk inside, there seems to be a conversation already in progress where this gentleman is talking to another one of the guards there. Let me get some handouts.
Ooh.
Bada bing, bada boom.
We got stuff. Also, is the music playing on your end?
It's not playing on my end, no. Oh, that I know why. I forgot to set it to loop. My bad. Loop, and if you refresh now, it should hopefully loop.
Mm-hmm.
Loops, brother. Give me loops.
A lot of loops here, brother.
Gyllenhaal Ridge. Looping. My internet's slow, so this might take a minute.
No worries.
Okay, good. It seems to be fine now.
If I came across a problem that couldn't be solved by a weapon. All right, cool. I'm back in.
We're in.
I'm in.
All right. You see
Take
a
shot!
stern-looking individual dressed in pretty much all black. This older gentleman in their 60s, odd, with very distinct facial features, a strong black mustache, slick black and gray hair, seemed to be a very veteran person just from looking at the crow's eyes. And they are talking to this other individual who seems to be a little more porkier, so to speak. Not necessarily overweight, but definitely has a lot of bulk behind their weight and seems like they can lift their fair share as well. One of them is dressed in the all black and the other one is dressed in a solid steel armor that he seems to be carrying on him, and you are able to tell on the side of the steel armor is a sheriff's badge.
Right.
So you would see this individual, and you would see this individual.
Dig. And Gyllenhaal. Oh, okay, right. So Gyllenhaal is the 60s looking dude, and Diggs is the dude.
Slightly younger looking is Diggs, probably about mid-50s.
Right.
And they seem to be, as you're walking in, you hear sort of a heated conversation about what's going on. Talks. You're able to catch every third word as you're getting closer, and as you're getting actually into the room itself, you start hearing stuff like, he should be thrown in jail immediately. I don't understand why it's taking so long. We know that he did it. We know that he killed him. Why is he still alive? And then the sheriff sort of responds in his own gentle voice, like, now, sir, I understand your frustration, truly I do. I feel so bad for you and the boy that you lost, but we can't just rush this. We have to wait for the adjudicator in order to deliver the sentence properly, and that's sort of at the moment when you walk through the door.
Alright. I'll just kind of like, sort of look at the two of them. I take it this is a bad time.
You're damn right it's a bad time. And the sheriff sort of turns to you and goes, and who might you be, son?
Robin Needleberry, former member of the Flaming Fist. I came here because I was looking for the idiot that you've currently got locked up.
Oh, so you know the bastard. You know what he's done. You know what he's took from me.
Unfortunately, I used to live with him, and I've heard, and I'm telling you, sir, he's a complete idiot, but he's not capable of murder.
Not capable of murder, he says. He's only been here for, what, a minute? And he already thinks he's not capable.
Do you know what a person who is capable of murder looks like?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
You don't know me. And I don't know you. Who the hell are you, Robin Needleberry? For all I know, you're his best friend trying to bail him out.
On the contrary, I hate him, but unfortunately I owe him and he owes me. Listen, I heard about your boy, and I can tell you that I'm very sorry. If you'll give me 10 minutes, talk to him, I might be able to figure out what's going on, and I might be able to find to help you find the asshole who actually...
He kind of looks over to the sheriff and he goes, well, I suppose this is your lucky day, Robin. Slow ass over here won't even pass the sentence until bloody adjudicator gets to town.
I'm not going
I guess
to...
it doesn't hurt
Just
anyone. What did you say, sir?
I'm not going to kill him. We're going to have a chat. Is he asleep or is he awake?
He's awake, unfortunately.
Have you got a pot or something around here?
They both kind of look at you and goes, the sheriff will go, we got a couple of drinking basins, if that's what you're meaning.
I just need this. I just need something to fill with water.
Alright. Seawater will do. He said, as like a question, would seawater do?
Any kind of water.
Alright, give me like 5 minutes. And you see him leave, and it's a very tense scene now, as he just sort of stood here in this cold, dilapidated, rocky room. Very solemn attitude as Mayor Gyllenhaal sort of goes to sit on the far side of the corner and just sort of has his hands between his legs in deep thought. And
Where did you... Can I, like, talk to him while I'm waiting?
you can certainly try.
Where did you find your boy?
In his room.
And something magical pertained to what happened. Yes.
He kind of looks at you with a face that he doesn't even believe what he's about to say. And he just says, he drowned.
In his bed.
Yeah. That's what the clerics tell me. Now, I don't know too much about magic, admittedly. But I've seen that bard, I've seen the tricks he can do, the way he can hurt people. Can you tell me, absolutely certain, that there is not a shadow of a doubt that he's involved in this?
Daffodil is a complete and utter idiot. He runs his mouth too much. And quite honestly, if it wasn't for me, probably would have died a good 2 years ago. But there's no way in hell that he killed your son.
Respectfully, Mr. Needleberry, I find that hard to believe, but do what you will. Have your words with him. The adjudicator will probably decide his end fate anyway, so you've got about a day or two.
Days. Just a day with me is a long.
After about a couple more minutes, the sheriff, Sheriff Diggs, will return with sort of a half-filled bucket or basin of seawater, fresh from the boat.
Alright.
Now, here you are, son. I don't quite know what... Unless you're just going to splash it over him.
No, thank you. I'll just need this for a second. Where is he?
Oh, he's a third cell down. We don't get many prisoners, but, well, we don't want him knowing that.
I'll nod, and I will take the basin, and I will walk down towards the cell where Daffodil is.
All right. Your stone, the stone floor kind of makes this audible crack as you walk across the room and down the corridor, and as you open the iron door. and even before you get there, you start hearing wails of, "I didn't do it! I didn't do it at all! I don't know what you're thinking. If you're the adjudicator, I'm sorry. This is not me. And then as you sort of turn the corner, you do see a familiar face. Wearing his trademarked yellow shirt and well-kept flower-embroidered trousers, a young man with shaggy brown hair and perfect teeth, and a poor attempt of a peach fuzz beard growing through his chin. The self-proclaimed Bard of the Land Daffodil sits with his arms chained to a post, his face lighting up like a newly adopted puppy when he sees you approach. By the gods! She was right! Oh my, I knew you'd be here! Oh, Frank. Oh, Robin. I am so glad to see you. How are you? That doesn't matter. Can you get me out of here? I haven't done it. I know what they're saying. I didn't do shit, alright? They're making it up. I'm being framed. Why do you have that bucket?
Daffy, if you say one more word, I'm going to cut out your tongue and make you eat it.
How have you been?
Busy. Am I, like, in the cell?
The sheriff won't let you into the cell. For all that you've claimed with confidence of who you are, that's allowed you to go and talk to him. But he's not just going to give you the keys and let you walk on in.
Okay.
It's not a big cell, mind you. You could probably throw the bucket on him from here if that was your plan.
I'll just sort of look at Daffy and just sort of be like, the bucket. I'll just sort of like gesture with it. It's a drink. You thirsty?
I feel like this is a trap, but yes, I haven't had a drink in a while.
I immediately throw the salt water all over him.
Oh! Well, I'm glad to see you haven't changed. You know, yes, that... Nope, sorry, go on.
That was for sneaking into a noble's house and trying to fuck his daughter.
I didn't sneak in, I was invited!
I raise an insight check!
Sure, roll an insight check. I have to scroll down.
24!
24?
I know his bullshit!
Funny enough, the bullshit that he would normally pull, it seems like there's some, or at the very least there is a lot of truth wrapped into a lie. It seems like he is being truthful that he didn't sneak in or break in by any means, but that he was cordially invited to stay.
You really haven't learned your lesson, have you? What's this now, like... Fuck it, I've lost count.
I more remember the names than the numbers, to be frank with you. They're not objects, Robin.
I'm sure you do remember. So I'll just kind of like stand there for a little bit, arms folded, just like generally look up and down.
You're talking about Loretta, aren't you?
What's important right now is that if we don't figure out who killed this guy's kid, you're gonna die.
Very good point, made as usual. What's the plan?
I kind of turn.
To give me the old city skip, like good old days?
I glare at him and then just don't say anything. I turn to Diggs and just like I know, but this is very impromptu and probably not proper procedure, but can I take a look at the body, see if I can figure out exactly what's happened?
I mean, I don't see any personal harm to it as long as you don't tamper with any evidence that has been taken in already.
I'm just going to give it a look.
The body's currently been held at the church. Lord Gyllenhaal tried to pay for a resurrection, but it was unsuccessful.
At that, Robin kind of just like sort of, his fingers kind of twitch a little bit, remembering what happened to Alex. And then he'll kind of shake his head a little bit. Probably for the best for all of us, if for the moment, Daffy, if you stay in here.
Robin, you're cutting out when you speak softly. You might want to turn down your input sensitivity on Discord.
Alright, jacking it down to about minus 75.
Let me shut my doors as well, because I don't want to be, screaming to the entire household.
No worries. Your fucking faux ass dandelion impression. So if I talk a little softly, is that any better?
I can hear you okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'll just sort of turn to Daffy and just sort of be like, as far as everybody in this little hold is concerned, you're a wanted criminal, so probably not a good idea to let you out and about for the moment.
Oh, did I share to players, by the way?
You have now, I see him.
Okay. Yeah, that's what Daffodil looks like.
Alright, cool.
Sure, if there's any questions you want to ask, I'm not going anywhere, so, good luck. I wish, please, help me.
Did you see anything strange while you were in the house last night? And I don't need to hear what happened in every room, just anything particularly strange.
Well, I was staying at, Lady Lorimore's house. Mainly was sort of distracted by her for the evening, and oh, buddy, if I get out of this, I have some stories to tell you.
Daffy?
You would like her. She's your type, you know, if you still have one.
I'll just continue glaring and just like, anything weird, Daffy? You could be dead in the next minute.
Okay, anything weird. Well, okay. So, and he kind of looks towards the sheriff and sees that the sheriff is there and that Lord Gyllenhaal is at the door. And
okay.
There is a moment of hesitation, like he is trying to choose his words a little more carefully than he was about 30 seconds ago. Well, you know, me and Lorimore were at the docks, and we were having a fine evening to ourselves on her father's boat. Wine, cheese, a bang, the whole shebang. It was
the main details, Daffy. I do not need to hear all the
This is part of the main details, okay? Part of it. Just let me finish. It's always in a rush.
I kind of like turn to Griggs and just be like,
I'm a storyteller, Robin. You can't just skip to the end.
You better get a chair. He's gonna be here all day.
He's already got one. So, there we were, having a wonderful evening. And then, at the docks, we see the young Lorimore child. I believe Ryan was his name. Not Lorimore, Gyllenhaal. Ryan Gyllenhaal. And, well, he seemed very displeased that I was sharing a boat with Loretta. He kind of stormed off after that, and that was the last that I saw of him, and I can be completely honest in that.
One sec. Go on.
How much did you miss?
No, I heard all of that, okay. He was by the boat.
I wanted to go and talk to him after that evening, but by the time that I had sort of knocked on the door of House Gyllenhaal, well, the guards were already putting their hands around me. And now I'm here. And now you're here. And oh god, it's good to see you.
We can exchange all the pleasantries when you get out.
Yes,
we can. The last thing that you saw of the Gyllenhaal boy, he was in his bed and drowned, yes?
Are you talking to the sheriff or to Daffy?
Daffy.
I did not see any of that. I was on the boat with Loretta. The boy stormed off, and he effectively went to his room, apparently. I don't know what he did after that. I tried to go over there to the building about, God, maybe 3 hours later. I was preoccupied, you know, and had my hands tied. But I wanted to go over there.
I twitch.
To him, but, well, that's when shit hit the fan, so to speak. He drowned? Are you... Seriously, they think that I drowned him somehow. Do I look like I could drown someone? And he sort of turns to the sheriff, and the sheriff sort of looks at him back and goes, well, you can certainly bore me to death. Oh, you guys are no fun. Anyway.
Not one of your finer performances, Daffy. Also, DM, can I hold you there for like 15 minutes just so I can go eat?
Yes, you can. That's completely
Cool,
fine.
thank you.
I'm going to pause
Sorry
the
about that.
recording,
Be back in.
and everyone
also-
go on mute.
I also just realized I have Zone of Truth, but I don't
Yes.
want to burn a spell slot.
That might be important in this murder mystery.
I'll burn it later. Thank you, drunk cheek.
Recording is now back on.
How'd you know?
There is a lilt in your voice that only occurs when you've been drinking.
Aww. I'm gonna go mute now.
You do that.
All
She's
right.
just like, oh, you don't know that, and then he leaves. Okay, anyway.
So, returning to the scene, you effectively, unless you have anything you wish to ask Daffodil, Sheriff Griggs will show you towards the church where the body is currently being held.
I guess on the way out, I'll just be like, I'll turn to him and just say, I know you didn't do it. I don't really think you can really relax here for too long, but I'll get you out. Alright?
Thank you.
You owe me big time. And I will walk out.
You are right.
I take out a little piece of paper and it just has like, times Daffy owes me. There's like 7 like little marks on it, and I'll just add another one.
Just another tick. He has
Yep.
paid you relatively well for jobs of the past.
I know he has. I know that he has. I just like to keep
a more
it.
moral checklist.
Yeah, a moral checklist. You know, just like you did what?
All right. So, where would you like to go next?
I'll follow Mr. Griggs towards the. Is it Griggs or Graves?
Diggs.
Diggs. Excuse me. I have
Diggs
fucking.
is the sheriff. Although, as you mentioned, if you were to mention the name Graves, he would tell you that there is a Mr. Graves, and he lives just on the side of house here, and is the grave digger for the town.
Yeah, that's called using what you got, isn't it?
He always had a funny way of looking at things.
Yeah, well, I suppose you need a sense of humor if you're burying dead people all the time. All right, let's go. Then I'll head over towards the grave diggers. While I'm walking, is he walking with me?
Yeah, he'll walk with you. Still, more, if anything, half of the situation is he is your Watson. He is following you and trying to solve the case with you. The other
Right.
half is that he doesn't quite fully trust you. Respectfully.
That's fair.
Anyway, you're going to the grave diggers or you're going to the house of the Wave Mother?
Oh, the body is in the House of the Wave Mother, right?
The body is currently in the church.
House of the Wave Mother. There, we're going to church.
As you sort of walk up this rocky part here, you notice that the stone is actually carved into the shape of rippling waves. So it's like you're kind of walking up vertically this waved tide as you get to this stone cathedral. Stepping inside, a very small, very compact church, more of just a shrine, more than anything else, a glorified shrine. There are a couple of seats for people to pay their respects. A shrine at the far back, which has this symbol of, it's a brass statue of 2 waves crashing, making a circle, and the actual brine of the crash is sort of forming this very loose female form.
Is this like the holy symbol of a god, or do I know who that is?
You can make your best guess to say that's some kind of holy symbol. You're not of the religious sort.
No, not proficient.
But, I mean, there are people you could ask. There is one of the deacons there who will look to you and go, "Oh, hello, Sonny. The sheriff. What may I owe the pleasure?"
We understand that the body of the Gyllenhaal Boys is being kept here.
Yes, a peculiar instance. Right this way, gentlemen, and it'll take you about 5 feet to the left. And there's a table with a golden cloth shrouded a young male figure's form.
Okay. I'm working to see if I can find out who exactly or what exactly might have done this, if you wouldn't mind.
He kind of looks at the sheriff, and the sheriff gives him a slow but jestful nod and is going to assist you in whatever you wish to try and accomplish, as long as it doesn't seemingly tamper with the evidence at hand. So he will give you advantage.
All right. I'll well, the first thing that I'll do is I can do this once a day, so I'll pop detect magic to see if I can find what might have to see if there's any like residue magic left on the body that might have caused him to drown.
Okay, so you send out your aura. There doesn't seem to be any lingering aura that comes off of the body itself. The cloth that is covering the body gives off a faint magical odor of necromancy.
So, like a repose, so that he doesn't rot immediately. Okay.
The deacon will confirm your suspicion. The cloth casts gentle repose on the subject that it is light upon.
Right. Okay. I'll take the end of the cloth and just slowly pull it back so I can get a look at the kid's face.
All right. The rigor mortis is most certainly set in at this time, looking like a shadow or a mirrored version of Lord Gyllenhaal, this young man, short black hair. The rest of his features have been contorted. It looks like someone has taken a doll and just left it to soak for a few days. The eyes and the features look waterlogged. The cheeks are bloated as if water has gotten in between the blood vessels of the skin. Veins are dark blue and purple colors that sort of run down the neck and the chest. The entire body, while human, has gone sort of a dark pale color.
And he was found like this exactly as in his bed, with no one other than the bard around.
He was found in his bed, clutching this, and the sheriff reaches into a pocket and he pulls out a signet ring, and he will hand this over to you for allow to inspection. This is, he will explain, this is the signet ring belonging to Lady Loretta.
The detect magic is still probably going at this stage, so am I picking up anything off the ring?
No. It just seems to be a beautiful ring. Encrusted with... Well, actually, it's a signet ring, so it's brass-coloured and with some gold inlays making the Lorimor symbol.
Right, okay.
He was found clutching this in his hands. The bard was apprehended outside of the vicinity.
Where's the Lorimor girl now?
I think last time I saw her, she was lounging around, as she often does, on her father's boat.
So that's what the boat is out in the dock, is that right?
Oh yeah, you can't miss it. It's the most ostentatious thing in this harbor. Suits her,
awfully calm for someone who's just had someone who obviously gave a shit about her to be dead.
If you want my personal opinion on the matter, a lot of people tend to care about the both of them. Lady Loretta has had suitors come every couple of months, and, well, House Gyllenhaal is one of the more respectable houses in this entire settlement. Everyone loved little Ryan here, and I don't think anyone would have wanted him dead, in my opinion.
I have a friend who might be able to help, but if your resurrection already hasn't worked once, I doubt it's going to work it'll even try and work again.
Lord Gyllenhaal has paid an awful lot of money for the resurrection, and we have had to, well, pay him back in full because it didn't work. We did everything properly, I promised him that. The soul wasn't there.
So that can happen then. If you die and someone tries to bring you back, it might not always work.
The soul must be willing. If the soul is not willing to come back to the body, then there is no amount of calling that can force it.
I'd like to examine the body and just see if there's any like other kinds of wounds other than the drowning that went on.
You haven't even rolled a check yet, so yeah, roll an investigation check with advantage, because Lord Gyllenhaal, who's had much more experience with this case, is able to point out the various oddities.
Nat 20.
The skin is kind of bruised, but there doesn't seem to be any injuries that would incur any kind of lethality. The cause of death is most certainly the drowning. There isn't any stab wounds, no broken bones. There seems to be quite a bit of hypertension in the muscles. You're able to figure that if drowning was the case, then he would have been thrashing about in his last couple of moments.
As my last thing I want to do, I want to ritual cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay. You take up to about 10 minutes sitting solemnly as a faint sound of water drops from the high stalactite at the top of the building and just drops into a bowl in the corner of the room. And in this sort of meditation, you release this wave, and the aromas sort of begin to fill your nose. There are no poisons, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of disease in the vicinity.
Nothing from the body at all, so it's just the drowning.
Not with the body, and not with the ring.
Okay, alright.
It seems that somehow this body drowned. Despite all logic.
Alright. I'll stand up, walk over to Griggs and just sort of be like, the Lalamore girl, I saw the boat when I was on the way here. I think if we're gonna get anywhere, we may want to check in with her first.
You do whatever you need to. I'll just be standing watch.
You're not coming with me?
No, I'll be coming, but more to make sure that you don't get up to anything silly, if you don't mind me saying.
You don't have to worry about me murdering any nobility.
I didn't think you'd go that far, no, but threaten anyone? Well, I don't know you, sir.
We'll just go have a
I've been in this town for about, God, since it sort of became an official town about 20 years ago, and I've served Lord Lalamore and Lord Gyllenhaal pretty much the entire time I've been here.
Well, you know how to get around nobles who think that they're better than everyone, and I know how to get around people in a back alley that might want to stab you. I think we're a good fit right now.
I can get behind that. Alright, come on, let's go see her.
Alright. Well, I'll head out with Grig, or with Diggs, and we'll head over towards the boat.
The docks. The two of you
The docks!
head over to the docks, and you see the individual about 30 feet off of shore, and Diggs kind of puts two fingers in his mouth and wolf whistles. I can't do it in person, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that thing.
Exactly. That's Chadley.
I didn't.
And
Yeah.
sort of, the head sort of rests up from what was probably a nap, and you see the figure turn towards you, seeing the two of you standing there in port. And in about 5 minutes or so, the boat begins to turn and begins to come into dock. Stepping off of the boat is an incredibly beautiful woman. Let me get her hand out. Short, sort of peach-coloured hair, immaculate blue eyes and makeup, and a sun hat that keeps the beams of sun off of her delicate head and frame while she is out onto the boat fishing. A Miss Lady Loretta Lalamore.
Alright.
Well, bonjour, monsieur. How may I help you today?
I can
Officer Diggs, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance again. And who might you be?
Hired help. No one important. Although I do know the gentleman caller that you got very well acquainted with last night.
She kind of takes a moment to think, and then chuckles to herself a little bit. He is quite a talkative one, isn't he?
He's an idiot.
Ah, but a beautiful one. What do they say? A flower in the wind? No?
I think it's a candle in the wind, but whatever. Well, I thought you also might like to know that he's currently in prison at the moment.
I know. I have been made aware of Lord Ryan Gyllenhaal's passing. It is a terrible thing.
I understand that you saw the Gyllenhaal boy last night, or rather, he saw the two of you out here on your boat or by the dock.
We.
And that was the last you saw of him before the incident?
I can describe it the best I can, if that would help.
It certainly would.
Myself and Monsieur Daffodil. Take a shot. Monsieur Daffodil were enjoying a wonderful evening of fishing, drinking, and talking about the finer philosophies of the world.
I'm gonna make a quick insight check on, first of all, if her accent is fake, and then second on whether or not she's bullshitting me.
Okay.
So this first one is to see if the accent's fake.
A 15. You're not sure what dialect it is, but she seems confident enough in her tone.
Okay, fair enough. And then this next one is to see if she's bullshitting me. 23?
Okay. Yeah, the accent is 100% fake by the DM. But the character, at the very least, speaks in sort of a semi-aristocratic French accent.
Mm-hmm. And 23 to see if her story is straight?
She chooses her words carefully and guardedly. She describes pretty much the same sum of events of which happened previously, although she does give you additional details. You see, how do I put this delicately? His lordship, Ryan Gyllenhaal, he was quite fond of my beauty, and I was not as fond as him. And she kind of looks to Diggs and says, I hope I can say this in confidence of confidentiality, monsieur. And Griggs will sort of nod his head slightly. My father wanted to betroth me to Monsieur Gyllenhaal to combine our families who have been friends for about 20 years. I had no interest in doing something similar, so I invited Monsieur Daffodil and may have told Monsieur Gyllenhaal to come to the docks that evening. I thought if he saw me with another suitor that it would stop his pursuit of my delicate frame.
Your father could have also very easily just had Daffy killed, as he might do in the next few hours, and just wed you anyway. What was the plan if it didn't work?
Well, what was the plan if the wedding was to continue?
Yes.
I suppose that does throw a wrench in the works. He would know of my, well, lack of feelings for him. I would not take him for the kind of individual who would marry someone who he knew did not share the same way. He seemed to be quite the romantic. As for my father, well, the wedding was probably going to go forward anyway. The only thing that would stop is if Gyllenhaal himself stepped away from the wedding.
And now he's dead.
A tragedy. I know you look at me with those solemn eyes. I did not kill him. If I needed to kill him, then I wouldn't have brought Daffodil into this.
I'm gonna insight check that.
Alright.
22.
Her story is certainly fishy, in the sense that it's certainly very convenient that the fate of Lord Gyllenhaal has conveniently allowed her to escape the marriage with him. However, there is a sternness in her look, and the fluttery words kind of lessen so, and she very much gives this portrayal of being forthright in discussing how the plan was to have Daffodil share a couple of evenings with the young suitor and arrange for Lord Gyllenhaal to see that she was already taken care of and to effectively gently put him down from that marriage proposal. Her logic being that she would not need to kill him and also go through this rigmarole.
Right, okay. Okay, well, I'll just kind of nod and just sort of then ask her, does House Gyllenhaal have any enemies? Anybody that might be paid very well if any of them were to take a fall? Anybody that has anything to gain from the two of you not being married?
Houses I cannot particularly describe. That is more of my father's knowledge of politics. I could logically assume that if he was out of the picture and our betrothment did not happen, then some other wealthy lord could present their suitor and his fine cock to me like some kind of meat.
Anyone around here other than your own house and the Gyllenhaals? Or would I have more luck asking someone in the upper city?
There are not any other wealthy families here aside from maybe the grave diggers, but that is only because of their work. I do not know who would pay to have Ryan taken care of, but I would start asking those who else were there that evening, namely Daffodil. I would also go after that stalker girl of his.
Stalker girl?
Oh yes, well, you're not informed.
He has a few. He has a few of those. You'll need to be specific.
Oh, no, monsieur, not Daffodil. It's Monsieur Gyllenhaal. He had a young stalker, a halfling girl who, well, I think she had a huge crush on him between you and I. She followed him around, drawing him.
And not quite rich enough? Would I be right in saying that?
She lacked confidence. I think if she was forthright, she could have pulled it off, but who am I to judge? I don't think he ever knew. And if he did, he ignored her. That was also partially part of the plan. I do not care much of this girl, but I thought, if he is no longer pursuing me, then she has an opening, no?
So you were just doing this girl that you've never really met a favor.
A fun coincidence. It would have been a win-win.
I'll nod. And then just, I'll leave you to go about your fishing, Miss Larrymore. Very sorry to interrupt your day. We'll be in touch about what we find later on. I'll go find this girl.
I do not think that Daffodil did it, monsieur.
Believe me, I know he didn't. I've known him long enough.
Take care, Monsieur Needleberry. I didn't know, you didn't give your name, did you? Monsieur.
Nah, I think I just said, I just said hired help, no one important.
Yeah, hired help. Good luck. And
All right.
She will daintily step back onto her boat and set out and sail.
As I'm walking with the sheriff, I'll just sort of turn. What do you reckon?
Well, she certainly has a motive, but good luck trying to tell Lord Lorimore that his daughter's a suspect in this.
None of
Their
them actually.
families have been great friends for the past 20 years. They helped set up the Lorimore mines together about 20 years ago.
Somehow I have my doubts that the girl did it.
She's a harlot, but
Oh, I have no
I
doubt
don't
about it.
think that she is the diabolical means.
If it was a ploy to get a little bit more money, there's definitely easier ways to go about it. Get married to the bastard first, and then just become a rich widow straight afterwards.
You're too
Look
good
him
at
up.
this.
I've been around this a long time.
You know what? I don't blame you. Well, I don't doubt it, sorry, it's the right way to say it. So, where'd you want to go?
Well, stalker halfling girl in a small little coastal town like this can't be too hard to find.
She's probably around her father's house. There's also the house that the murder happened, and the house Lorimore as well.
Oh, so she's set up there at the moment, the halfling girl.
Oh, I mean, the gravedigger's daughter would probably be at the gravedigger's home. You know, Thomas is normally in, he doesn't really leave his house. Not sure where the girl might be, probably at her father's house. But if you wish to look around the crime scene at the Gyllenhaal estate or speak to Lord Lorimore himself, then those options as well. So, basically saying you have 3 places you have yet to check out. House Gyllenhaal, Lord Lorimore, and the Gravedigger's home.
I vote we go and check in with this stalker girl first, just to learn what we can.
Alright. You make your way to the southeast side of the town, to a much more ramshackle and lower class building. And as you knock on the door, the sheriff will go, Thomas, you in there? I'd like to have a word with you. And eventually, an older gentleman, let me get the handout, sort of a thick handlebar mustache, brown choppy hair, and a black hat come sauntering out of the door.
Okay.
As
Well, hell!
Well, hell. Good evening, Sheriff and, Mister. How, can I help you today?
We were investigating the Gyllenhaal Boys' death.
Ryan's? I heard. That's a mighty shame. He was a good kid.
We heard from the Lorimore girl that your daughter was a bit smitten with Gyllenhaal.
When you bring up his daughter, his eyes do sort of meet yours, trying to read what you're about to say. And with your careful choice of words, he sort of nods in response. Yeah. She never could work up the courage to talk to the big man. I feel bad for her in a way. I think I should have done better by her, guided her to talk to him herself. But I mean, you gotta take into account we're not exactly noble folk.
I surmised as much from talking to Miss Lorimore, but you did the best that you could.
I suppose you suspect my young girl is part of this, don't you?
I don't know. That's why I need to have a bit of a chat with her, see what I can find out.
That's alright. She's actually not here right now. I think she was at the estate itself.
Hmm. Do you happen to hear anything else about the death other than where it happened?
He kind of gives the side eye to the sheriff. And the sheriff... In fact, Robin, make a... This will be a perception check.
Okay. Natural 20.
Out of the very faint corner of your eye, as you're sort of paying your main attention towards Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
you see the sheriff give a faint shake of the head. It's so subtle. Only with a natural 20 would you have caught it, so you're fucking lucky.
Sorry. So
And
wait. I
when
asked.
you ask, the question that you asked was, could you
Like-
repeat the question?
I asked him if he saw anything or if he knew anything else about the death other than where it happened.
About the death other than where it happened. I do not know anything specific about the case. If you wish for my alibi, I was here. And late at night, I had nowhere else to be, really.
Quiet night in.
Quiet night in. Most nights around here. The minor boys get back at noonish, but any time after that, it's peaceful around here.
You a married man, Mr. Graves?
I used to be. Didn't work out. But I visit sometimes. She lives in the outer city.
I'm gonna go see if I can find your daughter. She's not in trouble. I'll make sure that this is dealt with quickly and as well as I possibly can. Talk to her when she comes back.
You look like a kind man. She is quite the shy individual. You would do well to extend the kindness you've done to me.
And I'll do my best. Thank you, sir.
And thank you, Sheriff. Graves. And they nod and shut the door.
All right. I'm going to keep what I saw very much to myself, and just sort of keep walking. You known him long?
Yeah, Gravedigger's been here since this place turned from a little port into a proper mining operation about 20 years ago.
You told me you were here when that mining operation first started, right?
Yeah. You wanted a little history. This place used to be a port place owned by the Gyllenhaals. Then Lord Lorimore and his golden hair came sauntering in and had a proposition for the Lord. And he wanted to set up the mines, which have now made him probably one of the richest son of a bitches in this entire city. Of course, you can't do that alone. Lord Lorimore didn't have the financial means to open the mine, so we partnered with Gyllenhaal, and they've both been quite profitable. I've kind of remained as the sheriff, keeping the peace around here.
So you knew Gyllenhaal, but you didn't know Lorimore.
I knew the both of them quite well. It's been 20 years.
Any chance that when we get to oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah, Gyllenhaal was the guy that we met at the house. We haven't met like the top.
You have yet to meet the male Lord Lorimore. You have met Lady Lorimore, his daughter.
Okay, all right. Anything I should know before I go talk to a guy who owns a gold mine?
You are inferior to him. He is pissed, to say the least, about not being able to join the families.
Rich, stuffy noble, pissed off that he can't have more money. Yeah, that sounds about right.
As long as you're careful with what you say, I don't think you'll anger him. Wasn't his kid after all.
I'll be careful, trying not to piss anybody off this time.
Did you, when you said that this time, were you trying to mean anything there?
No, I'm just kind of joking.
Alright. Well, he will. He'll read that you're joking.
Alright. Alright, so I'll head up to Lorimore, looking for the halfling girl. This is probably a very silly question, but I assume Graves was a halfling too, right?
Yes.
Alright, cool.
The art wasn't tremendously representative, but they
No,
are
no,
a
no.
halfling family.
Cool. Alright, gotcha. So yeah, pull up to House Lorimore, and I'm gonna take a quick scope around the place to see if I can find the daughter.
Okay. I'd say with your natural passive perception, you walk by the Gyllenhaal estate on your way to House Lorimore. And sitting by a tree with her back up against it with a pencil in one hand and this human-sized canvas, which is probably a little too big for her, in the other one, she seems to be drawing a window on the side of the house.
Okay. Has she noticed me yet?
Not quite yet. She seems rather fixated and tunnel-visioned into capturing the details of this window.
I'm gonna hold up a finger to. I'm gonna kind of stop and turn towards Diggs and put a finger to my lips, like just be quiet, and I'm gonna try and stealth up towards her.
Alright, roll a stealth check. Actually, roll a perception.
Let's see what happens here, boys. Unless let me just scroll down so I'm seeing the bottom of the
There
list.
is no way you can fail.
28.
She rolled a 5, dude.
Oh, let me throw Pass Without Trace on that, make it a 38.
So you're able to stand in front of her, do a Fortnite dance, and still sneak behind her, and none the wiser.
I think about killing myself after I do that Fortnite dance.
A young halfling girl, sort of ginger, slightly darker ginger hair, freckles upon both cheek, very much a stout halfling woman. Not the most, well, the image will speak for itself. She's not drop dead gorgeous, but she's still a pretty young lady.
Okay, alright. Do I see what she's drawing?
You are able to sort of peep over her shoulder, and you see a very well-ly copied, lifelike imitation of the building. The only difference is that where in real life there is an open window in the photo, or the drawing that she is currently painting, there is a figure sort of leaning out of the window, this beautiful Adonis of a man, black hair and a well-tailored coat. Despite it being quite far away in the picture, the detail is there. You're able to quite clearly tell that this is a depiction of Ryan, the now deceased.
I'm gonna wait there for a little bit until she kind of like takes a pause with her drawing. And then when she does so, I'll just sort of be like, it's a wonderful likeness.
Hey. You shouldn't sneak up on people. That's not very nice.
I didn't want to interrupt her work.
Thank you. Who are you? How can I help? Well,
My name's Robin. I used to be with the city guard. Keyword there being used to be. I'm asking around about the Gyllenhaal boy.
Ryan. Oh, okay. How much do you know?
Enough. And I'll kind of give her a look that's sort of like, I don't want to say that I know she was into him, but I want to kind of give her a look that says, I know that you were into him. If that makes any sense.
Well, she kind of like takes one of the handkerchiefs she was using to dab some of the paint. She flips it onto its other side where it's a little more clear, and she wipes a couple of tears from her eyes, sort of caught up in the moment. And she very shyly utters out, he was amazing. He was kind and pretty and everything that you would want in a crush.
Do you know anybody who might want to hurt him? Do something like this?
Well, I know who definitely hurt him.
I raise an eyebrow.
Where that bitch on the docks broke his heart.
I'm gonna insight check this lady. I want to see if those are fucking crocodile tears or not.
Okay.
Always one. It's always one.
It's always one. You're not quite sure? You haven't had enough training with measuring the facial expressions of crocodile tears to try and tell when someone's putting it on or not.
I just generally distrust everybody.
Yeah. I follow him sometimes, and I draw him, and she, while the painting she is still sort of drying, she does have this giant book next to her, and she, with permission, will go through and show various POV shots of places where he has been or has been walking around, and these go back weeks and weeks and weeks. You're detecting essences of a stalker.
Very, yeah, okay. So all these pictures, and you never once thought it would be a good idea to ask him out? Or say how you felt?
What would that do?
He might
I'm
say
the daughter of a gravedigger. He's a lord of he's a lord of the mayor, and he loved that golden-haired bitch.
I'm the son of
What
an
can I do?
I'm the son of an abusive alcoholic, and I fought dragons.
She's gonna roll insight on that,
Okay.
and also trying to get what you're meaning. She rolled poorly.
Okay, so does
Okay.
does she not believe?
She doesn't quite understand. First of all, she's not quite sure she believes you. This human fighting dragons, and still doesn't quite sure what you meant by it.
Okay. Look, my point is that you don't know what's going through someone's head unless you talk to them. I know that you don't exactly come from a very wealthy background, but you never know. He may have said yes. It's all a little bit mute now. There's very little that any of us can really do, but something to consider for the future.
I'm running a D&D session.
Hi, Gail!
I've got my headphones on, they can't hear you. Ha ha ha.
Tell her I said hello.
Sam says hello.
Hello!
Hi, YouTube. Oh yeah, you run it online.
They do, it's like a cards game. Robert is in charge tonight.
Yeah, I'm running the game.
So he's running, he has to make up, he makes up the...
Yeah. Can I get back to you on it, just because I'm in the middle of it right now? I'm sorry to shove you around. I love you.
Oh, bless!
Bless them.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cute. Go down and talk to him about it when we're done here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
She sort of looks back at you and says, I have my dreams. They'll always be with me. Dreams where he said yes and... Nah. It wouldn't
Well,
have happened.
Well, he's dead now, so unfortunately we'll never know.
No. We won't.
Did you happen to hear about anything prior to or after he died?
Well, I follow him around quite a bit.
So I've seen.
Watched him go to the lake the other night. I watched him run up and punch someone in the face and push him into the water. And I watched him run back home crying.
Did you follow him home?
Only to the outside gate. I've got a decent shot of the window here.
Did you happen to...
Did you happen to... Hello? Ah, damn it, internet. Ah.
Alright, cool.
Alright. Your words were, did you happen to...
Did you happen to see anybody around the house, or anybody who was looking at him from the alleys or the streets while he was going home?
No, I think it was just about time since the miners got home. It was afternoon, the sun was going down. He went inside for a bit. I could hear the crying coming from his window, and the crying stopped for a while, and about half an hour later he left.
Did you get a look at him when he did leave?
He looked driven. I was hiding in the bush, so I didn't get a grand look at him, but he looked like he was going with purpose.
So you saw him leave, and then he came back, or did you go home?
I followed him some more for a little while. I followed him to the mines. Then it was getting a little late, and I didn't want to be spotted by anyone, so I went home.
Right. Well, I've had a chat with most of the people around here now at this stage who knew the boy well. I think I'm starting to piece everything together a little bit more, so thank you. I don't think you introduced yourself just yet.
Oh, sorry. Gina. Gina Graves.
Thank you.
Daughter of Thomas.
Can I give you a piece of advice?
You gonna give it anyway?
Yeah, you're right, I probably was. You have talent. A lot of talent. But this, and I kind of gesture to, like, the book, following somebody around, it's probably not going to get you very far with someone whose affections you're trying to win, and also with the law if they find out that you're tailing somebody for too long. If you want my advice, and I know that you didn't ask for it, you're better off just saying what you think. And if it gets you in trouble, fuck it. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you. I didn't get your name either.
Robin.
Robin. Thank you, Robin.
And I'll nod, and I will walk off. And I kind of gesture to Diggs.
He'll nod. May have dozed off during half of that, but he sits himself back up and begins to walk with you again.
The more we talk about this, and the more we find out, the weirder it all gets. She saw him going to the mine.
That is... She's the only one who saw him go into the mine.
Which strikes me as very strange. Maybe he found something when he was down.
There were a couple of hours accounted in between what Loretta said happened at the docks and what, when the body was found. I suppose it's plausible to get in a trip and back, but you'd have to be quick.
We'll make it. And I'll make my way down to the mine. While I'm walking, can I look around me to see if Jean is following?
Okay. Roll a perception check.
13.
You don't see her.
All right. Keep on walking. Passive is 15, if that does anything.
You were actively trying, and you actively failed.
Never mind. There we go. We're keeping on walking.
But why would he go to the mines? That's trying to boggle my mystery. It's not like there's anything there.
There's gold down there.
Gold, sure, but you have to dig for it. It's not like we keep it there.
I don't know. Maybe he felt that if he gave her more money, he could win her over. Is there magic bullshit down there?
Not that I know of. No, just mainly minerals.
It's worth a look. Come on, and I'll head to the mine and try and find either an entrance or find somebody who's in charge.
You're able to find the foreman quite easily, and with Diggs by your side. You ask around, and no one seems to have seen Lord Ryan going into the mines. Although if the timelines lined up properly, he would have entered the mines when no one was there.
Okay. So, I guess I'll ask the foreman then. Aside from gold, is there anything else strange that you guys managed to pull out of the ground in the last couple of days or weeks or months?
About 2 years ago, we found this crypt that was deep into the mountain. We asked around about it and was told by the local druidic order to leave it best undisturbed.
What does a druidic order have to do with a grave?
I believe that they were the owners here before the mine opened.
So some noble prick with a lot of money thought that it would be a good idea to build a mine on top of an ancient druidic burial ground, and he didn't think anything bad might happen?
Oh, well, that's an entire story I'm sure Mr. Dix can tell you.
Turn to Diggs and be like, you knew them longest. You know anything about...
There was a hiccup when trying to get the mine open. The first being that Lorimore didn't have the financial support to build it in the first place. That's why I needed the Gyllenhaals. And the second is that atop this mountain, and he sort of he gestures to the entire mountain range. You would know it as Mount Darkhawk. The druidic order, the belief they call them Warriors of Moonlight. They sort of have their basis near the tops of these mountain range. Dark Hawk, you absolute children.
Darkhawk.
Dusk. It's not even Dark Hawk. It's Dusk Hawk.
The Dusk Hawk Mountain. Okay.
You are absolute children. I swear. I didn't name it. Blame Gygax.
Fuck you, Gary. What does this Moon Clan, do they still operate on top of the mountain?
I believe they do. In some capacity, they've lessened in years, but 20 years ago there was a bit of a resistance to getting the mine open. Of course, they didn't want their land disturbed. Wasn't a violent uprising. No, we didn't. There wasn't any violence.
But
it was more of a peaceful protest. You had these two druids in particular. They kept coming down here trying to annoy and take away our equipment in the night, trying to stop any progress until the city eventually overruled their necessary need and they let Lord Morrowmire continue.
How long does it take to get to that area where they are?
Oh God. If you're hiking it, probably about... Depends how high you want to go. If you're going to the middle summit of Dusk Hawk, then you probably get there in 5 hours. If you're going to the absolute summit, first of all, you're going to need some equipment with you, but I hear that's where their main base of operations is.
They're at the apex.
The summit, yes.
I don't know if we've got time to really go up there and find out exactly what's going on, so I think I may just need to go down and take a look. Is that crypt, is it open? Has anybody gone into it and said they've seen things or come out with strange things?
We were told, the foreman said, well, we were told to leave it alone by, well, the sheriff and the lords here.
Can I take a look at it?
Gestures to the sheriff and goes, I don't see why not.
I'll head down and I'll strike a torch before I go down there, and then I'll see if I can find it.
All right. As they lead you into the mines, the foreman will eventually get to this giant stone slab that's covering one of the near tunnels, and the tunnel forks off deeper into the actual mine. And with a bit of lifting, you guys are able to move the stone slab aside, and you see that the tunnel continues downward, undisturbed. As you sort of make your way, snaking down these rivets, it's not a very thick tunnel. This place, it's about 5 foot across. You're able to just walk through casually with a torch with your elbows kind of tucked into your sides a little bit. Eventually you come to these stone steps with Elven... do you speak Elvish?
I speak Common, Sylvan, Draconic, Druidic, and Elvish.
Okay. You would notice both Druidic and Elvish runes attached onto the sides of the crypt here, and these runes effectively talk how the mountain is their home, their rest shall be plentiful. And
So this-
do you descend further?
So this is like sacred burial ground that we're walking into, right?
Effectively, yes. We've taken care to make sure that the mine goes around and not through it. Don't want any spirits disturbed, after all.
And are there any other ways to look at the entrance to this crypt?
As far as I'm aware of, you just move this stone and that's your way in.
Oh, well, only one way to find out. And I'll grab hold of the stone and I'll try and shift it and see what I can see.
You shift the giant stone as you keep. You see the long tunnel that sort of stretches down forward and begins to spiral slightly. Do you go down?
I'll wait till Diggs is next to me, and then I'll head down with him.
All right. So you continue to walk down. You eventually get to a stone crypt. And the first thing that you would notice is that your feet start getting wet. As you take a step forward, you sort of hold your torch down so your human eyes can catch up with what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And your feet are half submerged in this sort of dirty, briny, but you can smell salt water.
Okay. Taking a general look around, what's the kind of room that I'm standing in? Is it like a burial chamber, or is this...
The rough, rocky walls of this crypt are lined with regularly spaced masonry arches, roughly 20 feet apart. In between the arches are shallow recesses in the walls which serve as a final resting place for a number of long-dead humanoids. Some contain frantically decorated stone sarcophagi, while others just have a more plainer burial. Few are just simple stone slabs that house dead bodies, keeping it away from the open air.
Right.
The smooth stone floor is covered with a layer of rocky rubble, hidden from sight by a shallow layer of murky water about 12 inches deep. It isn't significantly impeding your movement.
Okay. I want to check the sarcophagi or the etchings on the walls. Is it just like ex-king of so-and-so, like Lord of the Tribe was buried here, or
Along those lines, yes. I don't have a list of names per se.
No, it's alright. It's
You're
just
on the right train of thought, where there are names here of previous watchers that the sarcophagi seems to label them as. Warriors of moonlight that have served their watch and are laid to rest at the Sentinel's Peak.
Right. And is that all that there is in this area, or is there like a raised dais at the back for like ceremonies and stuff like that?
There seems to be a far table at the side, but it doesn't have any particular features. It seems that if there was some kind of ceremonial table, it hasn't been used in centuries.
Right,
I think this place has been, for lack of a better term, picked clean. Not like it was robbed. The sarcophagi are closed, but hasn't been used in decades for sure.
Right, okay. In that case...
With your passive perception, there is a uneasy feeling. Just having your feet in the water, something is not right, and it is uncomfortable to be here. Be it the temperature of the water feels a bit too many degrees, like it should, or the sound of dripping is just a little bit louder than it should, or the moistness in the air just feels a little bit off. If there was a portrayal of the Uncanny Valley, you would be feeling it. Something is off about this place.
think we've learned everything from here that we. I think we've learned everything from here that we can. Let's leave.
I'd like to leave too. This place gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I'll light the way for the two of us to head back and get out of this fucking spooky ass crypt.
All right. So, you guys make your way back into town. It's coming up to roundabout evening now. You've spent most of the day visiting the various peoples. The sheriff will let you stay in a more refined jail cell if you really wanted to, or you could walk back to the city. You're not a prisoner, but he would offer you a bed to stay for the night.
I'll kind of just chill in the cell next to fucking next to Daffodil.
Don't you try anything funny now, or I'll cut the tongues out of both of you.
I've been helping you all day. If I was gonna try and do something stupid, I would have already done it.
Aye. That would be a stupid thing to do. And he'll put you in the jailhouse, give you a full meal, and will, after a day of investigation, will provide Daffodil with a meal as well.
Right, okay.
And it's not long until you're enjoying your meal where you hear like a faint tapping on the stone wall next to you. Hey, how'd it go? Am I free yet? Am I good to go? You're in here too, and that kind of worries me a little bit. You didn't get stuck in here like I did you? Because that'd be most unfortunate.
No, Daffy, I did not try and fuck a nobleman's daughter and then get caught and framed for murder.
You know, your tone of voice is sarcastic, but I can't see your face right now, so I'm going to assume that it's also sarcastic. I missed you.
Look, we spoke around town a little bit, we got a little bit of information. I think I might have an idea what's going on. I'm just going to finish my dinner in peace, and then I'm going to go about my business.
Is
all right?
Loretta okay? Is she thinking about me?
Oh, she's thinking, all right. Thinking very, very long and hard about what pretty man she's going to fuck next, I'm sure.
Oh. He of little faith.
I don't know why you bother. This is like, what, the 19th time?
Oh, but she's the one. Listen, you got to know her today. She is amazing. She's beautiful, she's rich, she's kind, and
she's up her own
rich.
arm. Emerald the person is laughing at the character. Robin is so done. Oh, man.
What a predicament you have found yourselves in.
She's full of herself. She has daddy buy everything for her. I'm sure you'd be more than able to provide for her, Daffy.
Well, that's the joy, isn't it? I wouldn't have to lift a finger. I could just sail out on the seas, singing my songs and telling my tales.
Be assassinated by some person who probably wants all of her money and then end up dead at the bottom of the ocean.
You know, that's less preferable. Do you, get off on ruining my life?
No, I just get off on telling you the truth.
How's your food? Mine's cold.
Warm, because I don't fucking waste time talking and I actually eat it. While this is going on, I want to listen out. Has Diggs left at all?
He doesn't seem to be in the same room that you're in. I'd have you roll a perception check to
Okay.
see if you can hear the...
Nope.
It's hard to hear over your very talkative friend. You may have heard a door slamming somewhere. He
Okay.
doesn't appear to be in the same jailhouse as you, although you do know that this is a two-roomed place. There's the jail, and then there's the house in front of it that manages the paperwork.
Okay. I want to finish off the dinner, and then as soon as I'm done, I want to see if I can find Diggs. Quietly.
Okay. He didn't lock you in the cell, so you're free to just go.
Okay.
You're trying to find him quietly.
Yeah, like I want to. If he's in the same building as me, then fine. I'll just kind of like observe for a little bit. But if he's not in the same building as me, I want to kind of like see if I can find where he is and follow him.
All right. You look around the place, and he doesn't seem to be in the jailhouse. You check around, and you ask one of the passers-by, and they haven't seen him.
All right, I walk back to Daffy. Wait here. I'm gonna go look for our your bellhop, and I head out.
Wait here. Very funny. I like that you're joking. It means that you're confident.
Can I take a quick break there just to go pee, and I'll be back in like a minute?
Sure, I actually need to go take a break as well. About
Cool.
5 minutes or so.
5 minutes? Cool, no worries.
5-minute break.
Go on mute.
Okay, so, Robin,
Yes.
you leave the jail cell. Mr. Diggs doesn't seem to be around the jail cell. What would you like to do?
I want to try and see if I can pick up a trail, see where he went.
Alright, this would be... You're able to get a good look at him. He was wearing a pretty heavy brass armor set, and leaves quite prominent footprints in the wet soil. So roll a survival check. He is a humanoid, so you get to add all your ranger shenanigans.
Yeah, I roll at advantage. I was going to ask that.
Yes.
15?
Well, he was secretly a dragon, so that's disadvantage, you see.
Well...
No. 15, you're able to spot a pair of heavy footprints heading the opposite direction to where you were going. It seems to be heading towards the house of the Wave Mother.
Alright, time to go quiet. I'm stealthing and I'm following the trail.
Alright. You follow the trail, and it leads you to the stone steps where the trail ends.
Are the doors to the house of the Wave Mother open?
Yes. It seems to be a 24/7 shrine more than anything else. The actual body itself has been locked away, but the doors are publicly accessible.
Do I get to keep the 28?
Yes, absolutely.
I will sneak inside and see if I can spot Diggs.
All right. You get about up to the crest of the hill, where you see praying in front of the shrine the armor set befitting of the sheriff.
While
He
still in
seems to
stealth.
be on his knees in prayer towards the shrine.
While still in stealth, I want to like kind of see if I can get as close as I can and hear what he's saying.
Alright. There seems to be... Okay, so as you're going in, it doesn't seem like he's audibly saying out loud. He seems to be praying in quiet, in his head.
Okay,
He
I'll
doesn't seem
just-
to be speaking his thoughts, so to speak.
gotcha. Okay, I'll just hunker down then and just watch. And if
Just
he
read his mind, Lamau.
finally, my that one level in Warlock is gonna come in real handy.
You still have all your spells.
I do. I don't have Detect Thoughts though. That's not a druid thing I can do.
It's not a ranger thing you can do either, is it?
No.
I mean, you picked the Unearthed Arcana ranger that has all the spells and stuff, so...
Yeah, I did.
I'm just gonna very quickly look over your stuff. Just so I can familiarize myself.
No spell I've got can really like help me in this immediate situation. I think I'm stealthed well enough.
That you know of, yeah.
Yeah.
You're stealthed well enough, he seems more distracted in his current moment of prayer. Where are you stealthing, by the way? Like, would you hide behind the side of the door? Would you see if you can crouch down behind a pew? Or
Yeah,
are
if
you
there's-
just standing there, or...
No. If there's pews in the area that I could like duck behind, then I'd duck behind a pew.
There's
And
one or two chairs
yeah.
that you're able to just sort of shrink your frame down and slip behind without making a sound.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie. I've already burned my detect magic for the day. I will wait and just see if anybody else comes out to greet him, or if he leaves, I'll follow him again.
You hear the rustling of paper coming from Grieg, seemingly as he is taking stuff back into his pocket. And you're able to hear the very undiscreet armor shing, shing, and he sort of takes it, stands up. He walks a little closer towards the shrine, and you hear the metal grasp of metal. And very faintly, you hear the words, "I'm sorry. Forgive me." And then more metal noises as he turns around and begins to walk out of the church.
I'll step out. Or actually, no, wait. I'll wait till he's ahead of me, and then I'll step out so I'm behind him. No longer stealthing.
Okay. He doesn't realize that you're there or that he was even being followed, so he starts walking down the winding stone path of the waves, none the wiser to you.
Come to confess your sins.
There is a stop. He stops dead in his tracks, without even turning to you, and goes, "Aye, in a matter of speaking, we've all committed sins. I pray often. I pray well."
I'm gonna insight check that to see if he's hiding anything from me. 18.
Certainly seems surprised to have been caught praying to the idol. He thought that he was alone. Very much guarding his words very carefully.
Anything in particular that your god might want to know about?
She's not my god. No. But it was worth a shot.
I've seen some strange things involving clerical magic. Stuff that I didn't really think was really possible that people could do. But if you have something that's gnawing away at you from the inside, you might be better off getting it out face to face with someone instead of saying it quietly to someone who might not be listening.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh!
With an 18. The sheriff looks up towards the moon that is starting to rise in the sky, and he looks back at you with one or two tears coming down his face, and he starts walking back towards you and back towards the church.
Diggs.
He sits down and pulls one of the pews aside for you to sit to.
Is this a trick?
It'd be a pretty shit one.
I'll sit down. Hand on dagger, but I'll sit down.
He pulls out from his side pocket a collection of papers, documents, and various deals and signatures that look old. I didn't think that it had anything to do with it. I want to preface that immediately. He'll hand them over to you, and you'll see various old documents dating back to about 20 years ago, at the forming of the place as less of a Gyllenhaal Port and Gyllenhaal Ridge, when the Lorimores came and signed the contract together to join in the mine. The papers discuss the various obstacles that come across there, and discuss various tactics and various strategies to how they can reduce the druidic terrorists that seem to be stealing their equipment. And he will begin to tell you a tale, and he will begin to speak. Around 20 years ago, there was the protesters. 2 druidic sisters, Kayala and Priscilla, their names were. They were the leaders of the charge. I didn't think much of it back then, just protesters doing what they felt was right. And then, one night I get a knock on my door. And there are 2 individuals there, pale in the face, who came to talk to me. A Lord Luke Lorimore and a Lord... gosh, I need to get his name properly, or else I'm going to kick myself. A Lord Gyllenhaal. Seniors.
Heads of the family.
Aye. Owner of the mine and the current mayor. And they comes to me with a problem. They sit me down and they explain that they had tried reasoning with these druids, and that they had some fucking how apprehended one of them, trying to scare the other one into submission, hoping that they'd stop. Of
Which
course,
one?
no plan meets the enemy. I
Which
believe
one
they
did they
took
capture?
Kayala.
Right. And Priscilla, they were trying to scare her out
And
of
the rest of them into silence. It worked. We never saw from the druids again after her sister went missing. But apparently they were careless. And instead of capturing this young Kayala, they
killed her.
her. You say it at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
And so's 2 lords of the land come to me with a problem. They say that they can pay me money to help them cover it up. We hire the gravedigger, and we're able to respectfully put the body in the mine, in the crypt, sealed and forgotten.
And that's why you didn't want to be down there too long. Too many bad memories.
No, I don't like what I see in the water.
What do you see?
Myself. And
So you
everything that I did. And that poor young girl is rotting down there because of what I allowed.
So
I
you
couldn't
think
do anything at the time. 2 powerful lords, they would have me sold off or killed. Without even a blink of an eye, I could either take their money and help them set up this place with no more deaths, with me at the helm protecting the people, or I can say no, keep my honor, and be replaced by someone who would. Poor Thomas, he wanted nothing to do with it, but we needed him to dig the hole.
So you think that the druids somehow marked you and the Gyllenhaal boy for death?
I think every one of us involved, aside from you and that twat in there. I didn't think that this had anything to do with it. I thought that that twat just killed him. But it felt different down there. It felt not right, like something had been uncovered. Something was angry.
DM, what time is it right now in game?
It is coming up to midnight. The moon is slowly creeping its way across the sky.
I stand up. You fancy going for a hike?
Where to?
We're going to the top of that mountain. We're going to meet these druids. We're going to talk to them. And you're coming with me.
I can do that.
You keep running from this thing, and eventually you probably will end up drowning down there. You stand a better chance, and as much as I may not like them, the rest of those noble twats stand a better chance of living if we try and figure something out with those druids. I don't know much about their customs, but I might have some kind of pull with them.
If you want, Aye, we could hike, but there is another lead. I hear that the other sister, Priscilla, still roams about the outer city.
Robin knows who Priscilla is, right?
Yeah, you've lived in the outer city and you've heard rumors and tales of the potion seller and commonly referred to as the hag, or the witch, or the boogeyman.
If she was leading the protesters, she might be a better candidate to talk to.
I think either I go and face her with you, or the moon faces me. I know I don't deserve justice. I'm just afraid.
I can't guarantee that you'll walk out of there alive, but you might. And if you might, well, then I don't think you have much to lose.
I can't speak for the quality of Lord Lorimore, but Mr. Gyllenhaal, I've known him for longer, back when this was just a port town. If he was fully convinced that what happened 20 years ago was the cause of all of this, he would repent. But I have no fucking clue of how we're gonna convince him of that.
I don't know if you can. He's been in this game 20 years and he's seen a lot of money come through this place. I don't know. Might be too far gone. But if the Gyllenhaal boy is dead because of druidic interference or druidic magic, I think we're better off trying to confront the problem at its source and then worry about what he might think later.
Aye, I think you're right. He kind of wipes his eyes a little bit and will stand up. Come, I got some horses in the stable, we can ride out. And I don't know if she'll be awake, but and
We'll
he
figure
will lead you out and
All right.
head you to the stables.
Saddle up a horse and I'll follow him to Priscilla's house.
Under the cover of moonlight, the sea takes on an entirely different perspective. What once was this golden liquid that just sort of glistens in the sun becomes almost as shined as a mirror, like a portal to another realm when the moonlight strikes the oceans of Baldur's Gate. And as you guys ride through the mountain range of the lower range of Dusk Hawk Mountain, you arrive into the outer city. While I'm here, I can actually tick off a few things now. So you've got Gyllenhaal Ridge, you've got the Lorimore Mines. Barbu.
Seen a few places.
Barbu. Yeah. It's like an RPG game.
Woo! The Endless Summit, okay.
Yes. So, you ride out, and over the course of about 20 minutes, you eventually come to the outskirts of Little Calimsham, and rumors have told you to avoid the hut of Priscilla the Witch. Tales of ill omen and strange and interesting deals. But nonetheless, you are very much aware that that place is avoided, and thus you kind of know where to go, and you come to this very large-looking teepee. The teepee is about the same size of a house, and it has an interior, quite a large one. Almost like a miniature circus tent, if you will.
Small, big top. Alright.
Yeah. And as you pull open the curtains, the smell is the first thing to hit you. It smells like a faint rotting flesh, or at least fermented vegetables that are either stewing or rotting in some containers elsewhere. The whole place is semi-filled with this semi-translucent smoke, of which you inevitably have to inhale, and it smells of a mix of lavender and spices and various scents from a far-gone land. The shelves are stocked with various bottles and canisters and wings, and you see on the one shelf there is a plethora of wands hanging from a staff next to an old, crooked-looking walking cane. And off in the far corner you see, in a rocking chair by an alchemical fire that seems to be self-generating, there is an elderly-looking woman with a long, bulbous nose, widowed black hair with crow's eyes and more wrinkles than you can shake a stick at. She is currently asleep, rocking backwards and forwards in her chair, a woman at least in her 60s, maybe 70s, but with all the tales, she could be in her hundreds.
I will turn back towards Diggs. She looked the same as when you first saw her.
Show to players. She looks a little older, admittedly. I suppose 20 years affects us all. And you hear in the faint corner this... as this dark black cat with bat wings hops down from one of the shelves and onto one of the nearby tables and looks at the both of you and just sort of...
I'll stare back at it for a little bit.
And it just sort of goes from a state of fear and anger to curious and perplexed of who these individuals have come. And it will sit down, and as it sits down, the eyes of the one snap open, and the head slowly turns towards the two of you. Hello, dearies. What may Priscilla do for you in the high moon's light?
Do you have time to...
I have time for many things. Trade, fortune.
I'm here to talk about history.
Ah, history. A favorite subject of mine. You. I remember you. Yes. That bulbous nose of yours. You've gotten fat.
He's not here to... He's not here to do you any harm. We had a discussion earlier today.
Evidence to the contrary. Sit. You are here to talk, no? What do you wish to learn from Priscilla?
20 years ago, you and a clan of druids led a protest against the opening of the Lorimore mines down the bottom of Mount Duskhawk. Is that correct?
Correct. It has been many a moon since I have heard word of my kin.
The Lorimores took your friend, didn't they?
I speculate as much, never to be seen again. I wanted to come down from that mountain and pluck out the teeth of every single one of you. She was my sister. But the druids, oh, those pompous but loving fools, they didn't want violence. They didn't want bloodshed or justice. So I was cast out. And here I am, helping the poor people, as I was told.
You had 20 years worth of hatred building up. So, would you care to tell me why exactly it is now that the Gyllenhaal boy turned up dead, drowned in his bed, early this morning?
Would you like to know with me?
Insight check.
Sure, roll insight check.
No.
Ooh, 14. Her words seem curious and a little playful, if you will. The idea coming across that she is not quite sure, but she knows how to find out.
I had a minute to look into the crypt below that mine.
Ah, yes. The slumber. The victory and the reward for the successful watchers of the moon.
What does that mean?
It means you died on your watch. A great honor, as to abandon the watch is to abandon your cause in life, as the druids would tell you.
Now, what are these druids watching for?
You wanted to learn of history, yes?
I came here seeking that, yes. I also came here wondering if you had any involvement with the boy being dead. Magic was used to drown him in his own bed. If I'm correct, he went down into this Watcher's tomb. Maybe he thought he'd find something magical down there, maybe he did, but whatever he found or whatever he saw, he's dead. The son of one of your greatest enemies is now well and truly gone. So you'll understand.
Perhaps my helping of the poor has finally awarded me some good karma with the lords. I did not wish for his son's death, nor did I play a part in it, if you wish. My involvement ended 20 years ago when they took my sister from me.
But you still wanted to fight.
I did, but I'm old. I'm powerful, but I'm old. Tales of a witch causing problems from an ex-respected druidic order would have caused the entire force of the Flaming Fist to march upon myself and my people and kill the lot of us. I'm sure my sister would have been very proud of that outcome.
Was your sister of the same mind as you, or was she one of those fools?
No.
Peace.
A fool. Fools don't live very long in this world.
You're
I
telling me
think you know that, don't you?
a little
I
too
can
well.
see it.
I know it a little too well.
Right. Well, on to your question. What would you like to see?
I'll kind of narrow my eyes a little bit. This is
She
going to...
begins to lean forward and picks up a part of the rug that you're standing on, and she tugs it a little bit to gesture for you to step off.
I will do so. Hand not on dagger or sword, but close to it.
She picks up the rug, and you now get a better look at this rug. It is a rug made of every single color of string that you know of. There are cyans and golds and reds. It is a truly technicolored rug. And as she holds it, she utters an incantation. And the rug begins to float on its own, as if being pulled up by string. And in that moment, the rug separates, like it's being stretched out until every single string is being unraveled and stretched out, so that every single, it's connecting to door frames, and it's like a spider's web of thread. It's now filling the room. You would struggle to move without nudging one of these strings.
What is this?
This, young man, is the weave. It is the source of all. And if you know how to look just right, you can see things that happened upon its threads.
You're telling me you can look through time.
I can gaze upon the fate of others and best interpret them to an extent. However, this is not a free act. Not paid in coin. Not paid in service. To
If you want
view life is to give life. Depending on your answer. Let me finish, boy. Depending on your answer, would cost you a years of your life, equivalent to the consequences of said knowledge. To know the weather tomorrow? 5 days. To know who you wish to marry? A year. What is it that you would like to see?
If I was to find out what happened to the boy.
Fates that has already happened.
Tell me the price and then I'll...
She looks towards the warden and says, 5 years.
Of
The
whom?
warden, she gestures to the warden.
I look back. Is he, reacting in any way, or...?
He is immensely kind of creeped out, but with an overwhelming sense of guilt. He nods.
I'm gonna roll... Hold there a second. I'm gonna roll a d20 in private, if you'd allow that.
Sure.
Wait!
The finger stops.
Leave him be. He's paid enough already in 20 years worth of guilt. I got one job to do, and then I'm done. You want 5 years, you can have them.
You're quick to trade away your own life for those you don't know.
Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't really give a shit. Call it a, recent change of heart by some...
The sheriff kind of looks towards you and goes, "Please. I am so happy of what you're trying to do. But I'm old. You're young. Hey?
I'm 35.
You need those years. I'm 65. My wife is in the ground. My children off in a distant land. I'd never see them again. Let's say I live 10 more years and I only get 5 of them. I'd live so much happier knowing that I actually helped. I beg you."
Bloody hate heroism. If you're sure.
Hi. Now, go on. Get on with it.
I'll turn to Priscilla. Man's made up his mind. Whatever you gotta do it quick.
She takes out a crooked nail, palms it in his hand, and sticks the needle in, drawing out a significant amount of blood and slashing it down his hand. And then he guides the warden's hand and places it onto the string. And what was the multicolored network of the string goes a blood red as the blood seems to dance and soak into the weave itself. And with one finger, she plucks it, vibrates, and she sits back, and her eyes kind of lull back into this trance-like state. I see the boy from a day ago. What questions would you ask? Gesturing to you and the warden.
Really quick for the DM. So she sees him and he's still alive, or like she's seeing his spirit?
From what you're understanding, she is currently using the weave to view events of the past. Or the fate of another individual.
What was it that killed him?
Ah, I see. He ventured to the mines, so determined, so cocksure, seeking something. I see in his mind he is seeking proof. He goes deep into parts where he was told not to go, and finds a tomb, a crypt. There is something in the water, something that recognizes his blood. He runs home, scared, frightened, clutching the only thing he knows dear. The ring of a woman who never even cared. I see the spirit writhing, drawing the power of the sea and the moon, and I see him thrashing there, with blood in his eyes and water in his throat. Your second question.
It knows his blood. Does it know his blood because of his family?
I sense familiarity. I sense a specific end to a specific life. I sense familiarity of my sister, kicking from beyond the grave, restless. The boy disturbed the tomb and roused her once more, and now she is free to take what is hers. And she, even with the eyes are lulled back, so it's almost like seeing the other side of the eyeball, but it still looks down to meet both of your gazes, and she chuckles when looking towards the warden. You will not be tonight. Tonight, another drowns. A poor old soul who dug too many holes. What is your third question?
Can she be reasoned with?
Let's see. Once the spirit fades from the world, if all that is left is anger and hatred and vitriol, no, peace would never be an option to a spirit that knows none, betrayed by the moon that promised that her kindness would be rewarded. Perhaps it is. Perhaps this is her reward. If you wish to stop her, well, you know where she lays. And the strings stop vibrating and the color returns to them, the blood being soaked into the string. The eyes loll forwards. Whew. Haven't done that in a while. Is there anything else you wish to learn?
No. I think I've seen enough.
Are you sure?
I've seen a lot of things in the last 3-4 months. I know what I'm about to see now. Good night. And I grab hold of Diggs and I pull him out of the door, or pull him out of the house, and fucking run for the horse. And so I know she's gonna go kill Mr. Graves, but she said where she lays. So I'm assuming that means we're going down into the fucking the mine to go and kill a ghost.
Before you leave the tent, she will reach out and grab your hand quite forcefully.
I reach down and half pull my dagger out of the sheath.
There is a crooked smile against her, from end to end. My door is always open, Robin of Barhaven. And I'll give you this for free. My little friend here is only disturbed by invisible creatures. Good night. And she lets go.
Robin kind of freezes and he's just sort of staring at her half afraid, half what the fuck? And then, without breaking eye contact, moves out of the hut. And then as soon as the door is closed behind him, just fucking bolts for the horse, and I'm going towards him.
Come. We've got about 30 minutes before moon hits the summit. If I'd had any guess, it'd be then. So I want both of... Well, I'm going to roll for Diggs, but I want you to make an athletics check to push your horse. And actually, this will be animal handling. You're trying to get this horse to fucking go.
20.
Natural? Oh,
No.
animal. Okay, there you go, yeah. Yeah, that's more than enough. You kick the horse into overdrive, and you're able to really push it to its limits, and over the rocking hills, the wind brushes the grass and the rocks, and you hear the faint cackling of the witch Priscilla as it sort of drifts along the midnight wind. Robin, you and Diggs ride back into Gyllenhaal Ridge.
I'm
Where would you like to go?
making a beeline for the mine. If I gotta go, she said put her to rest, so I'm assuming that's down in the mine. Or actually, no, I'll head there, and then I'll just turn to him and be like, alert anybody else in the area and tell them to go down to the gravedigger's house.
Oh dear, what was that?
Oh, that was him being fucking.
Yeah, that's the ghost.
Really wish I was a blood hunter right about now.
It's getting spooky. All right, so, are you going alone, or are you sending Diggs away? Oh, sorry. Are you having Diggs with you, or are you sending him away?
I am. No, I'm having Diggs with me, but I'll sort of like make as much commotion as I possibly can while I'm riding through the
miners are coming out of the houses to see what on earth is going on. The sound of horses rampaging through the night as you're thundering it down the back.
Any free guards to the gravedigger's house! Like I'm basically just screaming that as I'm like riding through the town and heading towards the mine.
All right. Robin, as you ride towards the mine, you see the moon is beginning to crest over the Duskhawk mountain. You jump off your horse and you just fucking bolt it and go. And
alright,
that takes us.
Striking a torch.
You're striking a torch. Good.
Mm-hmm.
GM layer.
Damn it, Kichi.
There isn't dynamic lighting set up here, but
okay.
You can use your imagination that you can only see round about 15 foot in front of you, but with the torch that extends to about 25 feet. However, you cannot use your bow with the torch in your hand.
Right, okay. Gotta roll on when I get fucking dark vision. That's gonna kick ass.
Don't you have light cantrips?
I don't. Druids don't get it.
Ah, fun times.
Yeah, fun. Fun.
As you step back into the cool, salty water of the crypt, I'm gonna just get some real quick.
Diggs will be here with me if he has a token, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah, so you had Diggs with you, right?
I basically just... I wanted to keep him around, but I just called for anybody who was available to run to the gravedigger's house, just in case.
Okay. Not truly representative as art, but I'll put this here to serve as Diggs' token.
Okay.
There he is. If we're finishing this, I'm seeing it through to the end, alright?
Yeah. Robin is being very visibly, like, still very kind of shook after what Priscilla said in the hut.
As you descend the stairs into the darkness, a new sound reaches your ears. A gentle, rhythmic lapping of water on stone. Coming to the bottom of the stairs, you see that the last few steps, and indeed the entire floor, is covered in the murky water of Prior. The passage itself opens into a large corridor, roughly 20 feet wide, with the rocky walls breaking up into the various sarcophaguses. As you step closer to the intersection, I assume.
I am indeed getting there. Looking, as far as
I'll move him with you in a moment while I'm reading.
Yeah.
The water ahead of you begins to roil and churn angrily, as if an invisible current is pulling it into various directions. A pale blue light suddenly shines from under the surface of the water and quickly grows in intensity as a ghostly female form rises to the surface, emitting a deathly distorted shriek. As she rises, the wave flows against gravity to cover her rapidly, her entire form encased in this water. The figure is clad in a spectral tattered dress, flowing behind her as if it was caught in unseen currents. Although the spirit's face is blurry and indistinct, you can clearly make out the presence of a delicate silver circlet on her head, holding a bright jewel to her forehead. I will, hang on, quickly give you the handout of what this creature looks like.
Druidic isn't a spoken language, right?
No, it is more of a rune.
Right, okay.
Oh, well, I'm gonna Google it. Is Druidic spoken language? I don't think so.
Somehow I doubt it. I think it's like symbols.
Spoken? Druidic language,
You can speak the language and use it to leave hidden messages. You and others who know this language automatically spot such a message.
Alright. So you can speak Druidic.
I guess as the creature, like, raises up out of the water, in Druidic, I will say to it, I've spoken with your sister. Are you sure there's no way other than the path you're committed to?
There is a moment of recognition in your words. A language that seems to have transcended the barriers of the dead realm. Telepathically, in your mind, you receive an answer. It's not a clear language, it seems more disconnected thoughts that represent the meaning of which she's trying to get across. The idea of a wave crashing against a rock until the rock breaks. The wave doesn't decide the direction it takes, only decides the result of the obstacle in its way.
Fuck. And I will slam the torch into, like, is there like an open spot next to me that I can push it into?
You can try and put it towards one of the rocks. I'd let you do that right before initiative is rolled.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and like jam it into the wall so I have like a little bit of sight, and then I'm gonna pull my bow and I'm just gonna get ready.
I would shriek out a deathly scream, but it is 10 o'clock in the evening and I cannot do that. Exactly. And I need you to roll initiative.
Oh boy, here we go.
Get Capella out of there. Did you just roll a natural 1 for a 20? I hate ranges so much.
Oh, I love it.
Excellent. I'll put her on the token layer. Let me get some fight music.
They haven't spotted us.
Huh. Where is... fight music? There. Can you hear that?
Oh, yes.
Darkest Dungeon. Love this game.
I hear it.
Anyway, I'm gonna roll initiative for these guys, then I very quickly need to go to the toilet. And
No worries.
I need to roll it for Priscilla. Oh no, Priscilla. The spirit. And I need to roll it for Gyllenhaal. Oh, the sheriff. Something else.
Yeah.
Keep getting my names mixed up.
A lot of NPCs going on right now.
Alrighty then. And I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, getting into it, Robin, you have the first move as this water elemental completely finishes rising from its grave.
Okie dokie. Bonus action Slayer's Prey.
Alrighty. Do you mind putting that in the chat just so I can keep a reminder?
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Bonus action designated creature, and it takes an extra d6 with every weapon attack, right? Oh no, the first time on each.
First attack does an extra bit of damage.
Yes, okay.
Alright. Now I'm assuming this thing is not a humanoid, so no favorite enemy.
No, this is not a humanoid. This is a mix. Well, you'd have to use an ability to tell.
Well, I'm not going to do that just now. I'm going to pull back 2 arrows and 2 shots.
Alright, so remind me, your bow is not magical.
No, it is not. It is a normal, bog-standard human bow.
Alright, roll your attacks.
26.
That hits.
And a 11.
That misses. So what happens, your first arrow sinks into the watery form of this creature. It doesn't get to the humanoid figure underneath the thick veil of water, and it seems to have reduced the impact of the arrow's shot. The second one, you see in rapid style a water tentacle reach out and grab the arrow out of the air before letting it drop and splash into the water.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's all I can really do. I'm gonna hold my ground here.
Okay, let me just did that much damage.
Do you round up or round down?
I round up. It's nice.
Alright, cool.
All right. It is now. Oh no, it will be Sheriff's turn. Come on, Diggs. Diggs is going to pull a long sword from his side, and he is just going to run and charge at it.
Okay.
5, 10, 15, and he has this long sword over his head in a long striking position, and he just shouts out this battle cry. Die! Alright, and as he slashes down, let's see. He's going to make 2 attacks. Oh, he has a mace. Sorry, not a long sword. So it's the first attack. That misses. He bashes the water, and it just seems to break a little bit. And he tries to get it on the backswing, and hits. The bludgeoning doesn't seem to impact the water too much, but it still seemed like it had some kind of purpose in shaking it off its kilter. Alright. It is now the spirit's turn. Let me look at all the fun things I have here.
How do you get to murder me in a one-on-one?
Yes, you have help.
I do.
Alright. She raises her hands to the side, a la the Night King from Hardhome, and out of the water you see these 2 tendrils rise and begin to move independently from her. And these 2 tendrils begin slapping and trying to pull Dig's armor to the side and to the ground. And she's gonna get 2 attacks with these water tendrils. That misses.
Okay. Well, that hits.
And that hits. So one of these tendrils wraps its way around Greg's arm and compresses. And if you've ever had one of those arm squeezers that take your blood pressure, imagine this, but it's a vice grip. And it squeezes the arm that was holding a shield in Dig's offhand, and he drops the shield to the ground, and the water pushes the shield away.
Okay.
And he will also take not a lot of damage, as this sort of compression grabs his arm. Okay, it is now Robin's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna hold up my hand, and as I look sort of like in the flickering light, I see like this little kind of crackle of electricity kind of build up in the middle of it. And I think back to Varan telling me some like little bits and pieces about magic on the road, and I just go, I really fucking hope this works. And I'm going to run forward, and I'm going to throw my hand directly in front of me, and I would like this bitch to make a con save. Thunder Wave at 2nd level.
A Constitution saving throw.
Yep.
Interesting. Right. Constitution saving throw. What's the DC?
13. Yeah, she passes.
I'm sorry to say that the blow goes off and it shakes the water, but like trying to punch a water pillow, you know? It like ripples and seems to absorb part of the impact. But she does take, let's see, 13, so round up to 14, so 7 points of thunder damage. Nice. But she is not pushed back.
Right, yes.
You're able to get a closer look now, and the horrified face just looks down upon you with an incarnate of anger and spite and seawater. The only thing sort of holding it all in one piece seems to be the delicate clothing and the silver circlet adorned on her head.
Alright, that's, that's all I can really do for the moment.
The Fog actually has pack tactics, so he's gonna get 2 swings at advantage.
Oh, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
So, with his shield gone to the side, he grabs his mace with 2 hands now, and is just gonna try and start smashing away the elements of water. That hits, and that misses. So, a point of damage. He's trying his best.
Trying his best. That's all anyone can ask.
He's starting to see how ineffective his own weapons seem to be, and he's looking to you for any kind of assistance.
Alright,
or
okay.
guidance on what he should do, because he is so out of his element, pun intended.
Keep striking at it. I have a few ideas.
The water tendrils subside from the side, and now that you guys are close, it goes to hug you and lets out this vicious scream that horrifies your very eardrums. I need you guys to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I really wish I was level 7 right about now. Damn it!
DC 13. You are frightened for 1 minute.
Shit. Do I have anything?
You can't willingly get closer, although you are close enough, and all of your attacks have disadvantage. You will get a chance to make your save at the end of your next turn.
Okay. Alright.
Let me just mark you for frightened. Gosh, it keeps disappearing. Stand still. Jeez. You know what? We'll just go with that one.
Stay scared, damn it.
Stay still. I'm not good. Actually, no, I need to roll for it. Wisdom saving throw. Fail. So, after the withering scream, she tries to reel back ever so slightly to try and put some distance between the two of you.
I'm gonna
you will
take
both get attacks of opportunity on this.
I'm gonna make the attack of opportunity with my silver dagger.
Alright, at disadvantage. So with the thud.
12.
12 hits?
Does it?
Yes.
Okay, she takes 13 damage, and I believe the silver dagger is magic.
And he hits too. The silver dagger is ingrained with a very minor rat magic rune that helps cut through the hide of specific monsters of which you know of. And such, your cut lands true, and you stab it into the water, and the water seems to sort of shake and quiver like you were puncturing a water balloon. And that looked like it hurt.
Okay.
Minus 8, minus 5. And minus 1. Okay, that's going to be the water elemental's turn. It is now Robin.
I never really get much of a chance to use this spell, but... Yeah, just because I wanted an opportunity to try and use it, and I don't want to risk my chances rolling another saving throw. I'm going to take a very deep breath and cast Protection from Evil and Good on myself.
Alright. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures. Creatures of these types have disadvantage on attack rolls against the target, and also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed if the target is already of those sorts. It has advantage on any saving throw against. That's a kick-ass spell, and this is the perfect time to use it.
Alright.
So, that's going to be your action. Unless you have
Yep.
a bonus action, you'll make your wisdom saving throw at advantage.
I do not have a bonus action, so I'm just gonna roll this shit. There we go.
That succeeds. You're no longer frightened. Hell yeah.
And I will say, again in Druidic, I'll look the dragon straight in the eyes. You're gonna have to try and be a bit scarier.
Then drown. It's the meaning you get in return.
Okay.
It's now the Fog's turn, and he can't. He's trying so hard to muster the courage to stand closer, but he can't, and he actually takes a couple of steps back and falls and tries to grab his shield and pulls it to his arm. And he's gonna try and make his saving throw. Oh! After grabbing his shield, he looks back towards you, Robin, and sees how you somehow shrugged off that terrifying wail, and it's enough just to bolster a little bit of faith that the both of you are gonna make it through this. It is now the elemental's turn. And it is going to curl its hands into a ball. And each creature, actually let's see. You see it begin to rise. Her legs aren't even touching the floor, it's just lifted by water. And she just begins to run towards you and tries to envelop you in a well.
Okay, if this is an attack roll, it's going to be a disadvantage.
Okay, put it in the chat. It seems to be a save.
Strength
Do you
saving.
advantage on saving throws against the thing?
Creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed, or the target is already charmed, frightened, and possessed.
No, this would be more of a grapple.
Okay, so this is just a straight strength save?
Yes. So
Okay.
strip saving throw. DC 15. And with a fucking 24. Here's what happens. The water overcomes you like a wave, and in this moment where the sound is kind of blocked out, you just hear the rushing of water as salt water fills your ears and your nose and your mouth, and you grit your teeth, you take out your dagger, and you slash to the side, seemingly cutting a part of the skin of this body, and with that a seam in the water appears, and Diggs grabs your arm and pulls you out.
Alright.
You're not drowning today.
Thanks.
Refreshing, if not horrifying.
Got a free shower out of it. Fine by me.
Alright. That's going to be the water elemental's turn. It is now back to you, Robin.
I'm going to hold up my hand and I'm going to close my eyes and concentrate. A little bit of the water, like residual, flows up into my hand and then crystallizes into a long, jagged spear. And I will chuck an ice knife at second level at the water elemental.
Hell yeah. So that's, make a ranged attack on the creature.
Ranged weapon, ranged spell.
Magic attack. I think, if you, in the settings of Ice Knife, it might have a thing. Ice Knife is weird because it's both a save and an attack roll.
That's a 17 to hit.
A 17 most certainly hits. Hit or miss, but I guess it never misses, huh? The
Once.
shot explodes at each creature within 5 feet, including the target?
Yes.
I see. Wonderful.
And it's
So
at
roll
and it's
1d10.
at level 2, so this is going to be 3d6. So it takes 9 claw piercing damage,
Hell yeah.
and then it takes 15 cold damage.
Cold damage, you see.
Yes.
Okay. You see the knife embed itself into the skin, and that seems to really bloody hurt, as it was unprepared for the magical wound. And when the ice explodes, the ice fractures just seem to melt away into more water, seemingly unaffected by the cold.
Okay, that right. Shit.
You learned something new. Water spirits are immune to cold damage.
I would have thought it would have froze it. Okay, well, that's gonna be me. I will. The spell is still going for protection from good and evil, so it still has disadvantage. No, my light's here. I'm just gonna be ready for my next attack. That's gonna be me.
Right. Fug is going to... I keep calling the Fugs, that's what's on my screen, but it is Diggs. Diggs is just going to try and run forward again with this now little bit of... It seems like the battle's turning in some way, and he's going to try and make 2 more smacks with his great mace. So that's a 1, and that's a 2. Both hit, actually, for 5 points of damage overall. Not bad. Slowly chipping away. This seems to be a battle of attrition more than anything else. You're not dealing a tremendous amount of damage, but it doesn't seem to be affecting you like it liked to anyway. You seem to be avoiding its abilities quite nicely for now.
Mm.
And so comes the turn of the drowned spirit. It's going to reach out to Diggs and is trying to clutch him with a withering touch.
Mm.
He's going to make a melee spell attack.
Ghost!
Whoops. And misses.
Oh, thank God.
You see Diggs raise up his shield that he grabbed just in time, and he sees that the ghostly hand seems to be passing through the shield, and he backs up just in time to, like, dodge out of the way. And he was like, fuck! Fuck! Oh, fuck! Ah. That's gonna be the water elemental's turn, but it's now Robin.
Keep at it! We've almost got him! And, let me just read my good and evil spell again.
Concentration.
Yeah, it is concentration, up to 10 minutes. The protected... Yeah, disadvantage. Okay, so this is going to be 2 normal attacks with the silver dagger. Just going for wherever I can reach on the spirit.
Where are you targeting the body?
Yeah, I'll go 1 for the body and then on one of the arms.
Okay.
So, first shot in the stomach. 17.
17 hits.
And second attack.
That does all of that lovely juicy damage for 15.
Alright. And then second attack, 11.
11 misses, unfortunately. Again,
Alright.
you try and swing through, but your arm's starting to get tired. It's like chopping through, well, water.
Alrighty. Yep, no, it's gonna be my turn.
Okay. The Fug, Diggs, is really starting to lose faith in his own ability, and is gonna try and grapple the creature. He's just going to go all ham and try and use his weight and try and pin the creature to the side of the wall. Then he is going to make a strength check. Would have been at normal, so a 7 versus strength. Elemental.
I don't know if you can... Yeah, no. I don't know if you can even grapple ghosts.
Well, he tries to. By George, he tries to. And he just kind of falls through the tumbling, and he has to catch himself, and he actually ends up like on this side of the spirit.
Oof, alright. Don't break faith now, we've almost got it!
Alright, Elemental's turn. Let's go to... Ah, I see. This is where 2 things are going to collide here. I will admit that I made a mistake earlier. I'm using 2 character sheets. One is the water elemental from Roll20, and the other one is a drowned spirit that's from this whole storyline.
Okay.
And one of them was immune to cold, and one of them wasn't immune to cold.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, water elementals, I'm pretty sure you can freeze, but whatever you want to go
You're
with.
right. You're right about water elementals. Tell you what, I will roll a d20, higher or lower.
You want me to pick?
Yeah, higher or lower.
Hi.
High, okay. High. Just. So, I will undo one of those rounds and say that your ice knife impacted it and sent crystals of ice beginning to shackle and freeze the inside of the spirit. And you see that the spirit is still moving, but it now looks like more of a Mr. Freeze rather than... It just seems to be a face entrapped in the ice.
Right.
And it takes... It partially freezes the speed reduced by 20 feet until the end of its next turn. Okay, so it just stops it from moving, I see. But it is frozen today. That still means it does get to act, though, and it is...
It does, yeah.
Just try and thrash at you, Robin.
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage. It's going to make 2 slam attacks on you with these icy, crustin-filled bits of water.
First one hits, second one misses.
15 points of bludgeoning damage to you as it smacks you across the face. Sort of, your back has to impact one of the other skeletons attached to the wall, and it just sort of crumbles to the ground.
Alright, let me roll that con save for good and evil. Still good?
Still good indeed. Absolutely. And that's going to be the elemental's turn, Robin. It seems like it's slowly starting to waver. It looks mostly still intact, but you've certainly began chipping away at its defenses. This body with the silver circlet and the gem pressed against its forehead, the tattered clothes weaving in between the ice.
I want to get some of that sweet, sweet advantage, so I'm going to go here. None of my spells can really go off without hurting Diggs as well, so I'm just going to move here and 2 daggers advantage.
Alright, make 2 attacks at advantage.
18.
Hit. That hits.
And 27. Ignore the 4, that's 9 piercing damage.
Sure. So you grab onto a chunk of the ice that was beginning to thaw, you use it to get some leverage, and you plunge your dagger deep into the water, and once again, the runes on your dagger begin to faintly shimmer in the moonlight, and this creature wails out in intense pain, as you seem to be cutting apart its connection to the water that it has tied itself to. That's a nice chunk of damage.
It's a big chunk of damage. I have a spell I can do.
Chunk.
A chunk. Oh.
18 plus 12.
Okay. I'll mine for later. All right, that's gonna be my turn.
The fog is just going to try and keep at it. He's not quite sure what to do other than just to keep swinging. He's just following your command. At advantage because of pack tactics. He's going to make 2 mace attacks. 1 and 2. Those both hit for a total of 3 points of damage. It's the little things that build up. However,
Atonement!
the water elemental and the drowned spirit recognize Diggs, and it turns away from you, Robin, and 2 slam attacks come down on Diggs.
Alright.
This is normal. 1. That misses. And 2. That also... Oh, no, wait, no, hang on. Oh, those both hit. Alright.
Wait, he picked up his shield, though, didn't he?
So the first one, yeah, they have a base AC of 11.
So with the
shield, the second one
would hit. Yeah.
Nice. So, 8 points of bludgeoning damage as he's sort of battered to the side. I'm sorry! Diggs is looking okay for now.
Still a little rough, though, from the fight.
He's been beaten around a little bit, but he's still got a bit of fight left in him. Robin, you're up.
I just realized ensnaring strike is concentration. You know what? Sensing that...
The ice now breaks away.
Yes, sensing that this needs to be... Yeah, her attention's drawn away from me and she already used her thing. I'm gonna drop... No, do I want to do that? No, it wouldn't work. I'm gonna keep protection from good and evil and just keep hacking as hard as I can.
All right. With your dagger in one hand and anything in the other? Or just
not just dagger, just like reverse grip dagger, just trying to like hack at whatever bits I can really muster.
Yeah. You start seeing the water get thin around the body. It seems that your cutting has actually let a significant chunk of the liquid inside of this form leak, and it seems to be struggling to pull it back in. It seems like you're getting closer.
That's a 10 piercing on the first hit.
That hits, yep.
And then that's a 24, 9 piercing again.
All
so that's 19 total.
19 points of damage total. It's starting to look hurt. You almost see a moment of happiness in its face. Something that the end is near and that the waves can finally rest, but there's just too much hatred in the way that is stopping it from resting.
All right, that's yeah. I'm gonna keep the protection on and pass it.
Diggs is gonna try 2 more times with his mace. He's gonna try and start trying to go for the head, because he just assumes that that's how to kill a ghost.
Okay, that's fair enough. He doesn't fucking know how to kill a ghost. I don't know how to kill a ghost.
He's not a trained hunter.
Nope.
Oh, I was only made to make 2, but those both hit, and they did a lot of damage.
2 21s.
Yeah, 2 21s for a total of 13. 14 half to 7. It's looking pretty rough.
Sweet.
It's now starting to get desperate. I should have been doing this as well. So 1 second.
Oh, to get
Right.
well.
Yes. It is going to see the fear in Diggs' eyes and try and take advantage, and it's going to try and whelm Diggs. I need you to make an attack of opportunity first if you want to stop it.
I do. Do I get advantage?
Technically, yes.
All right.
As it's leaving your space and moving into Diggs' space.
Can I just read something on Slayer's Prey really quick?
Sure.
The first time each turn, so Slayer's Prey wouldn't go off.
Your turn has not come back up yet.
All right, never mind. In that case, just swing. Natural 20. 12.
Natural fucking 20. You find that perfect moment where its defenses seem down and the water at its thinnest, and you plunge your dagger into its back. How do you want to do this?
Saving my boy. All right. As it goes forward and it goes to like envelop around him, I like look for a spot where I've cut through the water to like find the back of the head, and I stick my whole hand into that gap and just plunge the dagger all the way through, from the back of the head through the face, and again in Druidic, as it sort of like stops in like mid motion, I just go, "Be at peace," then I pull the dagger back out.
You ever seen a wave machine, how the water ripples and pools to the center, and then a spout of water shoots up?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. The whole room begins to shake with this moistened sea water, and as the spout comes up, the arms reach out to grab Diggs, and the fear in Diggs' eyes is this would most certainly kill him. The pain stops, the shrieking stops, and the arms flow still. The head, the back doesn't turn, but the head turns 180 degrees to meet your gaze. And a simple thank you. Actually, I should describe something. Hang on 1 second. Oh, I just exited out of Roll20 now.
No!
I need that.
We killed God!
God is dead. He is no more. Unnecessary, if you ask me.
God is dead!
Right. There was something else meant to read here as well.
Oh. The darkness is your ally, Batman.
As you land the final blow, the spirit turns its head and thanks you, and begins to freeze. The inside of its body, the last part you would see of the face, is a small smile curling up its lips, a seeming peace in a ferocious sea, and it slowly fades away into nothingness. As the nearby water tendrils revert back to harmless water, the silver circlet ting, spling, spling, splashes with a soft splash. And that's the encounter over. You did it! You had your first hunt.
Killed my first ghost. I will, first of all, go over and, is Diggs on the ground, or is he, like, still up?
Diggs is on the ground, like on his ass, shield cowered in front of his face.
It's dead. You can put it down now. Stabbed a ghost. Nice one. And I'll put out a hand and I'll pull him to his feet.
He clasps it. I had no business surviving that.
Yeah, well, you did.
Don't you dare give 5 years for me, mate. And he will take your hand and clasp it back up.
Fuck me, I need a drink after that.
There's not exactly a tavern in the ridge, but,
Don't worry, I know somewhere.
Aye.
Oh, first I better go get my idiot out of prison, though.
Well, yeah, yeah, of course. Well, we know that... how are we gonna... What do we do now?
Well, as far as I can see,
Listen, Go on, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Let's make sure that, Graves is alright. And then, well, fuck it, it's late. You know, the idea of leaving Daffy locked up in a cell for one more night is really tempting.
At least tell him that he's no longer the suspect. Give him a little mercy, eh? That circlet. That belonged to her, didn't it? I remember it. She used to wear it during the protests.
I'll lean down into the water and scoop it up. You see her do anything with it?
Not necessarily, no, but I don't think many people's going to believe this, and I think you give me 10 minutes with Lord Lorimore and Lord Gyllenhaal with that circlet, and I explain what went down here tonight. Well, they got two options. They can either proceed with the trial of your mate and get him thrown in, or have the truth come out about what they've been doing and what they've done. Or they can let your lad go. And, I don't know what happens then. I assume they're going to want to pay you quite well to keep that secret on lock. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? Hello? Hello? Test? Hello? Hello? Oh, I'm still recording. Hello. Finally recording again. What was the last thing that you heard me say?
I heard you give me 5-10 minutes with Mr. Lorimore and Mr. Gyllenhaal?
Gyllenhaal, yeah.
Gyllenhaal. Like Gyllenhaal.
And, I could try... well, they know what they did 20 years ago. It'd just be a matter of explaining that that's the bloody reason that Ryan's dead, and not that twat in the cell.
You probably have more pull with them than I would. You do your thing.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You just killed a ghost, dude. Like, sorry, Robin would say, you just killed a fucking ghost. I'm pretty sure that my testimony here and this, and I hold up the circlet, is evidence enough. I'm going with you, if you really think you need...
No, that's... the confrontation's not what I'm worried about, it's what happens after. If they don't believe us and they go through with the trial, I'm gonna have to spill the beans on what happened 20 years ago, and... or they do believe us, and then what? We either get paid a fat chunk of change to keep their fucking dirty secrets, my dirty secrets, or we tell them and put ourselves at risk.
I'll figure something out. I know some people who would be probably willing to give you a hand.
They pay
Look,
you
as
well.
far as I'm concerned, this was your atonement. 5 fucking years of your life are gone, and you just killed the ghost of the woman that you helped put in the ground. I think you're good.
So how do we want to go about this then? Confront them about what's the game plan? That's what I'm trying to get across. We go to them, we tell them of what really happened here. Then what?
Well, once we tell them of what really happened here...
My best guess is that they're going to try and buy you off. It'll be good money, but...
Well, I can take the money, but that doesn't necessarily mean I have to stay quiet.
Your friend
Like
the Bard, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
He tells stories?
Quite a few.
Be a shame if a story started going around. Tales of the Ghost Slayer and of the misdeeds of broken men.
That would be unfortunate, wouldn't it?
Right. Well,
Come on. And I
let's
sort
go
of like
talk to the bastards.
clap him on the shoulder, and I will lead him out. While we're
Don't
leaving,
give me the heebie-jeebies.
while we're leaving, we're using some of the like alternate class rules that give me like more magic and stuff like that. Can I?
Hello.
I have detect magic that I can proc once a day. Can I ritual cast it?
I would say... Can druids ritual cast? I think they can.
Let me check. I'm pretty sure it did. But like this isn't for...
You got this as a ranger spell.
Yeah, this was because of the primeval awareness.
My thing is to say... Not really.
That's all right. I can just give it a little bit. I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
the circlet. I'll just find.
Yeah. I think it makes sense that druids can ritual cast their stuff, but rangers are more of the dabblers of magic rather
Yeah,
than...
they're half casters.
Yeah.
Let me just
So,
look.
you guys make your way out of the crypt.
Uh-huh.
The small gathering does sort of come towards you at the mines. It seems that the miners themselves had come to investigate after what was going on. There are two at the front of the pack. There are numerous individuals, miners, the priest, the gosh, my mind's having a blank. I'm having a meltdown. Anyway, at the front are the two lords, the one that you hadn't met, and Lord Gyllenhaal, of which you met earlier today. I suppose I'll show the other picture now.
Please let it be Tywin. Please let it be Tywin.
Pretty close. Pretty close. I guess closer to Aegon than anything else.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Aegon. Yeah, that's definitely some Targaryen bullshit.
Yeah. Lord Luke Lorimore will address you. So, it is my understanding that you are the ones who have caused this ruckus this evening, Sheriff? And the Sheriff nods solemnly and looks him in the eyes and says... Or he speaks to everyone first and says, "Thank you for your quick responses, everyone. Is the Gravedigger alright?" Ignoring Luke Lorimore for now. And the people will sort of, nod, and we checked out his house, but he started shaking and convulsing randomly. We didn't know what he did. We thought he was fucking drowning. And then he stopped. Like something let him go. Good. Well, return to your beds. Got a long day of work tomorrow. Everything's fine now. Me and the hunter sorted that out. And everyone, respecting the word of the sheriff, goes back with some confusion and disgruntlement about not getting a full night's sleep. The lords are still there, though, most prominently. And you see Lord Lorimore begin to raise his finger and go towards the two of you, and the sheriff just shuts him down and goes, "Not a word. Come walk with us. We have some talking to do." The almost insulted Lord Lorimore lowers his finger, and Lord Gyllenhaal also nods solemnly, and the four of you walk to the docks, alone at night.
While we go, I'll walk and sort of like inform them of all the information that we gathered that day, the info that we got out of Priscilla. I'll leave out the detail about the weave, and I will tell them about the ghost that we killed down there, and I'll indicate the circlet that fell off of her head and say, I understand that she wore this while she and the rest of her order were protesting here 20 years ago.
When you show them the circlet, there is a flash of recognition on both of them. An idea of things they once fought drowned at the bottom of the sea, coming back up and floating to the surface. Very few words are spoken, and when Lord Lorenhall tries to pipe in to take control of the conversation, Lord Gyllenhaal places a hand on his shoulder and pushes him down. I can't imagine what you think of us. Is there any service that we may do for you in return for what you have done for us this day in avenging my son?
I travel with a group of individuals who are looking to get a little bit further up the coast. We need a boat. I won't ask you for any of your money. Quite frankly, you can keep it. I don't really care. But a mode of transport, that would be pretty helpful.
The lords look between themselves. I would let you take mine, but I fear it is a little small. You wish for a boat, or do you wish for money to charter a boat?
Either or.
How many people do you travel with, or intend to travel with?
7.
Then you will need a fine ship.
Know you where I can get a ship like that?
Ships I can get you. Would that consider our payment square?
I would consider
Not
it.
entirely. I would like a pay rise, personally. 1,000 gold should cover it.
He did almost get drowned by a ghost. I can attest to that.
There's a sneer in Lord Luke Lorimore's face, and almost angry of what he's being told the truth. He kind of accepts it that it's the truth, but he's furious of this outcome. You will
Look on the
get
bright
2,000 gold. Oh, go on. What?
Look on the bright side. If the Gravedigger had died tonight, 2 of you would have drowned eventually as well. What good would that do?
Money is pointless at the bottom of the sea. You will take your 1,000 gold, Dix, and you'll continue to serve as Chief Warden here. We thank you for your service. And for you, human, who, in a single day, uncovered 20 years of what we thought we had put to rest. I want you to get on your boat, and I want you to never come back here.
I always hated this city. Don't worry. You won't be seeing me for a very, very long time. The only other thing I'll need is my idiot friend out of the jailhouse at dawn. Since we both know he's entirely innocent. He's an idiot, but an entirely innocent idiot.
Trust me, I am tempted to pay you more to take him.
Song's gotten to you already, have they?
And Diggs sort of chuckles to himself as the four of you sort of sit on the docks, four battered old men and a middle-aged hunter looking up at the moon. I will ask if there's anything else you wanted to accomplish in the city of Baldur's Gate, as you are now one ship richer.
I will get Daffodil out of jail.
Keep in mind, he didn't give you money to buy a ship, or to charter a ship. He has given you a ship.
Yeah, he just gave us a boat.
Yeah, it's yours now.
Perfect. He's got money to spare. We can have it. It's fine. We'll be a pirate crew.
Was it?
Do you know where your charger is?
Welcome, everybody.
Your toothbrush.
Oh, toothbrush.
And your toothbrush charger.
Would it be downstairs? In the other toilet?
No, it's yours.
Nah, sorry, I don't know then, Mum. Anyway,
Hi, Gail.
was there anything else you wanted to accomplish in Baldur's Gate now that you are significantly more wealthy?
Yeah,
You could go shopping, you could go... Can I have some quiet, please? Sorry. I'm in the middle of the thing still. Anyway.
Mom, get out of my room. I'm playing
Because I'm
D&D.
recording it, you know. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anyway, if there's anything else that you wanted to do, I'm happy to wrap up the session. Unless there is a particular thing you wanted to seek out.
3 things. I want to get Daffodil out of the prison.
Yes, and he is all the merrier to see you. He's like, I knew you would come and save me. Oh.
If you ever do something that stupid ever again, I'll cut your balls off.
Well, I'll set the timer.
And I will then just sort of like laugh and just like kind of like hard slap him on the back.
You haven't lost your touch. So, what are you doing in town anyway? You haven't been gone for ages.
Circumstances.
Circumstances, eh?
Don't know if you've noticed, but there's a horde of dragons like, flying down upon the coast.
Aye, I've heard the street criers. I don't know if I truly believe them. Don't tell me you're... Please don't tell me you're involved in this.
I just give him a look.
You called me a fool. Anyway, if you wouldn't mind, I need to quickly go and see my beloved.
Are you sure about this?
What? What could possibly go wrong? And he saunters off to go and find Lady Loretta.
And before he does, and we don't need to RP this one, but I'll just sort of whisper in his ear about what Griggs said about spreading that story, but keeping it very covert.
He chuckles to himself. Ah, what a fine tale to tell. I look forward to it. Again, no need to RP this, but he returns about 30 minutes later with a little defeated look on his face.
Your one true beloved, not really so true anymore?
Like a flower in the summer wind, she said. Bloody thunder fires.
Come on, Daffy, let's go get a drink. There's some people I'd like you to meet.
Wait, people? Robin, did you make a friend?
No.
Oh my god, you made a friend. I'm so proud of you.
Shut up, Daffy.
Oh, I've got to see this. And as you guys ride off into the night, were there other stuff you wanted to do in Baldurs?
I can probably ask for info on the druids at the top of the mountain next game. The only other thing I want to know when I get to the main gates is I want to talk to whoever I could get a list off of people who have come into the city, and I want to see if a woman named Ophelia came into the city.
Okay. I'd say with your connections to the Flaming Fist, you're able to get a general census. There are thousands and thousands of papers, but you go through the O's, and there are one or two Ophelias.
Anything particular?
Registered as there's one human woman with sort of this blondish hair. It just sort of details statistics about them. Sort of a young girl age, 21 at oldest. And then the second Ophelia is pushing into her 60s.
Neither of them sound familiar.
Neither of them line up with your experience of Ophelia.
Okay, I will leave that there, and then yeah, I'll bring Daffodil back towards the elf song, and I'll collect info on the druids on top of the mountain next game, because that might be something I might want to come back and do later.
Absolutely, the Moon Watchers may await you. And with that, I suppose we'll wrap up the session.
Woo!